Gentlemen, welcome here as we get ready for qualifying for the 5th annual Elite Racing League Indianapolis 500. We're going to be coming to you here for a special 3.5 hour qualifying session. These drivers have special rules that they have to abide by and whatnot. We've also got a special layout for you here today as well. We will see the live timing of the specific drivers' cars as well as the drivers themselves on track. I believe we've actually got a car on track right now as we have already started. I'm Seth Cole, and I think I'm flying solo here tonight, so bear with me on what goes down here this evening. But as you can see, we have a car on track here already, and you will see on the right side of your screen are the car's lap times. The way that it works here for Indy 500 qualifying, for those of you that are not familiar, is they will be taking 4 laps around the racetrack. They will average those 4 laps. The average lap time is going to be what will decide who is going to start where for the respective starting position in the Indianapolis 500. Now, there are some rules that I'm going to go over here that these drivers have to abide by in terms of how this qualifying session goes down. Each driver is guaranteed at least one attempt here to make it into the field. The field actually will hold 33 drivers, and I believe there are 29 drivers that are currently listed for this qualifying session. So it looks like everybody will make it into the Indy 500 field at this point in time. The 4-lap average, as I mentioned, you'll see lap 1, 2, 3, and 4 with the specific lap time each driver lays down. The black line that goes down next to the driver's name is the average lap time, and it will show you who is going to be ranked where. The car that we are currently looking at, I should mention as well, is the number 12, I believe, of Henry Bennett, and I believe he is out for a qualifying run right now. And I'm trying to figure out here whether Ched Frankenfield has actually withdrawn or not. It looks like the 12 car reset back. So I believe he has actually completed his lap time. The drivers actually that have been on track in their order is based off of I don't know if it was a random draw or what, but the drivers were given the order in which they were going to be going out. We were not privy to that, so we will only know when a driver gets on track where they are in terms of their qualifying orders. But continuing back on with the rules, if a driver crashes or decides to pull out before the completion of their 4 laps, the run will not be counted and it will be waived. So these drivers have until they complete that 4th lap to actually waive their run, and they are allowed to go back out and try another run. If they set a time, if a driver sets a time, completes that 4th lap, and decides to make another run, the lap time that they ran, the average lap time they ran beforehand, is completely null and void. It's as if it never existed. They're going to have to go out there. Even if it's a slower lap time than what they laid down on the first run, it's what they're going to have to stick with. So that's going to make it very difficult for drivers, especially those that maybe might be just outside the top 10, maybe just outside the top 5. They could have gotten a little bit more. They go out there and make a mistake, and they end up costing themselves 1-2 tenths. That could put them from starting 10th in the Indy 500 back to starting 14th, 15th place. I'm expecting the lap times are going to be very, very close all the way through this field. Now, if a driver decides to make another run, they're going to let the admins know that they want to go out there and make another run. They will be added to a queue. It's single car runs. They're not going to be going out there for group qualifying, so they'll be added to the queue, and then they'll be able to go out. The opportunity they have to be able to do that is until we reach the end of the qualifying session, which will be at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're in for a long haul here this evening. Each run starts with the pit box, and they will be allowed to leave from their pit box, begin their run, and of course the attempt will start the first time that they cross the start-finish line. Mentioned already, the fastest 33 will be the ones that make the field. We've got, it looks like, 29 drivers that are currently on our grid. And as you can see here on the right side of the screen, you'll be seeing the live timing and scoring at the same time that we will. Laid down by the 54 of Rishav Khosla. So I believe he has actually already completed his lap times there with a 40.140. Frankenfield with a 39.872. I'm not certain why there is a withdrawn red banner after his time. Uncertain about that. The 12 car is currently on a run. See what his average lap time is going to be. Henry Dorsett there in the 12. Okay, so according to what I'm seeing here on the timing and scoring that we have, you'll see a yellow banner after a driver's name if they choose to waive their run. The run was started, but all 4 laps were not completed. And then you will also see apparently the withdrawn banner is that the run was discarded. The driver went out to complete another run. So my assumption is that Chad Frankenfield will be going back out for another run there. Apparently felt he was able to get a little bit more than he did. And I'm not certain. For just a moment, we're actually just going to put the broadcast back to this because I'm not certain. I might actually be tuned into the wrong place because I'm seeing lap times get put down and I'm not seeing these drivers actually turning these lap times. So let me double check and make sure that I'm actually in the correct session. Take a look here and find out. Because I'm only seeing one car on track there, and that's not making much sense to me. Okay, it looks like I am in the wrong one. So I will see here if I can get the correct session. There we go. Not very familiar with iRacing, so I was not aware of how to connect to the
Howdy.
correct, but now I know how. Oh, we got Matt Rod here. Hey, Matt.
Hey, I just came in to tell you you're in the wrong session.
Realize that we've been watching lap times go up on the right side of the screen with no cars correlating, so I'm actually connecting to the correct one now.
No worries. Just came in to just tell you.
What can I say? The trials of an iRacing rookie. So my apologies for that, folks. We will have the correct session loading up here, and we will swing of things here. At least it happened early. At least we find out early, and we're not 2 hours into the qualifying session and find out that I'm still in the wrong session. We got some good looks there of the 12 car, at least, of lap times. I'm not sure if Henry Bennett realizes as well that it's over in the other session or not, but there you go then. So as of right now, it looks like, as we'll wait for the session to load up here, it looks like currently Chad Frankenfield has the fastest average lap time with a 39.827. Behind him is Dan Liesch. He currently holds a 39.991. And Rishav Kosla currently sits with a 41.40. Those are the 3 drivers at this point in time that have taken time. I believe the next car that's out on track, we will see when we get in there, more than likely, will be the 4 of Joshua Furr. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I actually believe I said that we didn't have a list of the drivers' order of what they would be going out for their session. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that they are actually in the order that we are seeing on the timing and scoring chart. But that's the order they're going out in. All right, I believe we've got things settled out now, so we'll go back to our side-by-side, and there you see we are focused now on the 4 car of Joshua Furr. He'll be the 4th car to go out there. So apologies for the early mishap there, and we will hopefully have that be the only snafu that we will have here this evening. Joshua Furr, first lap time that he laid down, a 39.899. That would currently, at least for right now, slot him third of the 4 drivers that have gone out, just a tick slower, about 6/100ths slower than both Dan Liesch and Chad Frankenfields. There that Dan Liesch actually had a faster first lap than Frankenfield did, but his other lap times were slower, second, third, and fourth laps. 39.966, the second lap for Joshua Furr. That's actually a tick quicker on the second lap than Dan Liesch, so now Joshua Furr could be possibly looking to break into the second position out of 4 drivers that have gone out there. 100 slower than Liesch did on the first lap, and then ran roughly about maybe about a tenth and a half quicker on his second lap. Third lap, and it's a 40.078. A little bit slower than Dan Liesch, so he's going to need a really good lap time here. I would say in order to take second position right now, he's going to have to run somewhere around a 39.985, I would say. Somewhere within at least 5 1,000s, maybe 6 1,000s in order to take the second position. It's going to be close, I think, between the 9 and the 4 for that second position. And let's see what they hit him with. 40.256. That was much slower. So that's going to slot him, I believe, behind Ash, just ahead of Rishabh Khosla. And you see right there that Khosla has actually withdrawn his lap time. So he will be going out for another run as well. So the withdrawn banner is if they've gone out, completed a 4-lap stint, and they've decided that they want to go out and try again. The waived is if they decided midway through their run to not have that count, and they would go out for another attempt. So got that cleared away. Opportunity here. We're going to actually, one thing I like about this qualifying session too, as opposed to the broadcast that we usually have during the week. Usually during the week, we go out there and we interview the top 3 performers of the day. Well, we're going to do something a little bit different here this evening, where we're going to be able to talk to as many of the drivers that are going to be participating in this Indy 500 as possible. Let's see if we can get a word with one of them here that's already gone out there and taken some time. We'll see if he's available. We'll try and get Rishabh Khosla for a moment here. Hey, Rishabh, Seth Kolip here in the Flat Out Racing Network booth. You got an opportunity to talk with us for a minute?
Yeah. Hey.
Hey. So, unfortunately, we had that little snafu, so we didn't see your qualifying lap laid down there for that first time. But we see that you have withdrawn that run. You're going to be going out there again. What is there out there that you can get on a second time you didn't get this first time?
I mean, for me, it was. I think that first run was definitely, I guess, fortunately or unfortunately, a learning experience. There's. It's only 2 miles an hour into turn 1, but it definitely tightens up the car. You've got a tailwind going into turn 1, and I was losing a lot of time there. So for me, kind of, I now get the chance to watch these guys run, kind of learn as much as I can from watching them, and try and improve. Right now I've got nothing to lose, so I see it as a win.
Now, I'm not very familiar with Project Cars, but definitely know that you've had quite a career over there. I mean, is there anything from Project Cars you can apply to the open wheel racing over here at Indy?
A little bit. Obviously you get the familiarity with the car and track that you bring over, but in that was open setups. You were running the DW12s, which obviously you had a lot more downforce, a lot more security when driving around. So it is ultimately a very different animal. I think when you ran in qualifying, you ran with a very neutral car. Here, you've definitely got a car that tends towards understeer. So for us, it's just kind of trying to figure out how to deal with that and maintain speed as well throughout the run.
we definitely know, seeing some of the lap times that are laid down here, that more speed can be gained. So best of luck on your second run. We'll see if maybe you can hop up there a little bit higher in the running order.
Thanks so much.
All right. Like I said, it's really cool to be able to like talk to some of the guys that you actually talk about week in, week out, especially with doing the Mega Driver 86 series on Monday nights. And this is the first time that I myself been able to actually talk with Rishav Khosla and actually interview him. So we're definitely going to be bringing in some other guys during the course of the evening, as we are currently looking at the 32 of Dustin Dewar. He just completed his fourth lap. Right now, he sits with an average lap time of 40.932. That is the slowest of the 5 drivers that have gone out there so far. So we'll probably see him be trying another attempt. On track would be the 77. That is Thales Toledo. A number of these drivers during the practice session that they had, where drivers were getting used to the qualifying setup. And there were a number of drivers that were up there towards the top of the board, but the only problem is the timing and scoring that we have here for these broadcasts go lap by lap. They do not average out. So you could see drivers that were up there at the top of the leaderboard, but that was not necessarily meaning that those drivers were laying down those lap times lap after lap. So with having the Google Sheet, the timing and scoring on the right side of the screen, it gives us a better idea of just exactly what these lap times are like. And one thing I'm noticing a lot of is the first lap seems to be really, really good. Second and third lap seem to taper off just a bit, and then that third lap seems to be kind of the deciding factor. Some drivers have been a little bit faster on their fourth lap, and some drivers have been a tick slower on their fourth lap. So it's been very interesting to see the fact that it kind of starts fast, slows down middle of the run, and then either gets faster or slower. And I think that fourth lap really seems to be crucial in terms of where you're going to position yourself. As of right now, I believe that only one of the 5 drivers that has gone out there has ran a slower lap time on the fourth lap than their third lap. I don't know if that's necessarily the fact of the tires heating up, or you've just run 3 laps and so you're a little bit more comfortable with your race car and maybe drive it a little bit deeper on that fourth lap. Not certain, but one thing that Rishav Khosla brought up that's really interesting is the fact there's a little bit of a tailwind. And one thing about the open wheel race cars is you're not driving the car. You're floating around the racetrack, literally. The car is going so fast, it's low to the ground, very aerodynamic. It's literally like the car is floating on the racing surface. So these drivers, while they definitely have their hands full with trying to hold the wheel steady, they're also trying to make sure that that car stays underneath them. Lap times here to start out with for Thales Toledo. Both of his first 2 laps have been in the 39s. Joshua Furr and Chad Frankenfield also had their first 2 laps in the 39s. Let's see if the third lap also will be in the 39 second bracket. A 40.119. So as of right now, he will be tracking, I believe, just behind Joshua Furr in the 4 car. Into an average of the 39s or not. Dan Liesch just barely got in with that 991, so he was just a tick into the 39 second lap bracket. This is going to be here. This is going to be the deciding factor. 41.267. That was a much slower fourth lap for Thales Toledo. And so that will more than likely put him, I would think, somewhere around the 5th position of the 6 drivers that have gone out. As things stand right now, they haven't updated the averages, but it would be Frankenfield currently 1st, Dan Liesch in 2nd, 3rd would be Joshua Furr, 4th Rishav Khosla, 5th place would be Thales Toledo, and Dustin Dewar would currently be 6th of the drivers that have gone out and taken time, as we're now looking at the 7 of Chris White going out on track. Let's get a word with another driver that's gone out there on track and right now sits second on the board of the 6 drivers that have taken time. So you can get a word here with Dan Lienge. Dan, Seth Cole up here in the Flat Out Racing Network booth. You got a moment to talk with us, man?
Hey, how are you? You doing all right?
Hey, you doing great. And it looks like you're doing pretty good there with that lap time you set out there. Right now, only one of 2 drivers that's been able to have their average lap time in the 39-second bracket. You like where you're at, or you think you might be able to get a little bit more later on?
No, I'm going to stand pat on what I've got. I've got to get to some other things here later on, so that was my one and only shot at it for the night. I don't expect to have the pole. I blew that second lap pretty well. Missed my entry on turn 1, and that really cost me. But yeah, I'm happy with the time I put up.
Looking at the lap times specifically, your first lap was in the 39s, your second and third were in the 40s, and then you went back and ran a 39 on the 4th lap. What is there about this particular track where it seems like the first lap is a lightning fast lap time, it tapers off in the middle, and then all of a sudden it kind of comes back on the last lap?
Well, I can't speak for everybody, but in my particular case, I nailed my first lap pretty good. I got a good run on it and hit my apex is just right. I think it might still stand up as the fastest lap. It was a pretty good one. But I just flat missed entry into turn 1 on the second lap, and it takes more than a lap to get your momentum back, and that's why mine dipped down in the middle stages. Last lap, I hit my apexes again and did a lot better. But yeah, that second lap really cost me.
How important is it, do you think, as far as getting that really good average lap time in terms of track position when you get to the main event?
I don't think it's going to be important at all, quite frankly. Everybody's running the same equipment. Everybody's got the same crew chief. We're all on an equal basis, and it's 500 long miles. I think strategy is going to play out. I think being patient and picking your spots and not getting yourself into a 3-wide jam in turn 1 is going to be crucial. And I think the more experienced drivers are going to have a better time of it.
All right, well, as things stand right now, it looks like your lap time, at least for this time, is going to have you at least up, if not in the top 10, maybe up inside the top 5 when everybody completes their run. So really good run there for you, and we'll see where it situates you when everybody's gone out there, and we'll see what the grid looks like at the end of the day.
All right. Well, I appreciate talking to you, and you guys do a great job, and we do appreciate you.
Talking to us, appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye. Am I back in the waiting room? Okay.
Apologies for that little pause there. I might have to actually do that on occasion. If you don't hear any sound coming through, don't panic. I have to refresh Discord because for some reason Discord decides to have the quality go down, and when it does that, I have to refresh it in order to get the quality to come back. So great talking there, getting some insight from Dan Lienge. That's something that I didn't really even think of, about the fact that you go out there, you make a little mistake, and it takes you 1 to 2 laps to get that momentum back. Like you said, he messed up on that second lap. So we'll definitely see if that's going to be a running theme for drivers here It's all about hitting those apexes. A couple of other drivers have gone out, and one has completed his lap times. That's Chris White in the 7. He ran an average of 40.005. So almost was able to get into the 39-second bracket. Right now, he would sit, I believe, in third of the drivers that have gone out there and taken time. Kind of surprised there with Chad Frankenfield running that average lap time of 39.872, and he decided he was going to withdraw his lap time. We've also seen Dustin Dewar has withdrawn his lap time as well. We're currently looking at the 8 car, and that is Chris Stouffer. His lap times are looking really good. Boy, first lap, 39.792. Second lap, 39.751. Those are the 2 fastest laps to start out a run so far. This is looking like pole material right now for that machine. Just got to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. Finding himself, right now, I would say he'd be somewhere around the 39.7s to maybe have for an average lap time. I mean, this is the fastest we've seen so far. To put into perspective, the guy that we were just talking to, Dan Liesch, had the fastest first lap out there with an 8.30. And the first lap for Chris Stouffer faster, 39.724 for the third lap for Stouffer. Could very well be a lap time that's going to stand up maybe for a pole. And now I'm kind of understanding maybe why Frankenfield withdrew his 39.872, maybe realizing there is something else out there to be able to get. Final lap crosses the line. Let's see what Stouffer has, 39.867. So he doesn't have 39.7s all the way across the board, but look at the average lap, 39.783 for Chris Stouffer. Man, that time right there. First driver to break the 39.7s. We'll see if anybody's got anything for him. As now heading out onto the track. That is the 5. Yes, it is. Carlos E. Aguiar. That has withdrawn their lap time, just to clarify as well, has to wait until everyone has gone out. Once everybody has gone out and completed a lap, you can see, actually, if you look down at the bottom, I don't know if it shows on here or not, I think it does. But if you look, it'll show Rishabh Khosla, Dustin Dewar, as well as Thales Toledo. They are all down at the bottom of the list. So they will be down there behind the final car to go out and complete a lap time, which right now would be the 26 of Ryan Blanchard. Once he's completed his lap time, then those that have withdrawn their laps and their runs will be able to go out for a second time. So as we're looking here at Carlos E. Aguiar in the number 5 machine, I believe he just completed his first lap. He's on his first lap. Actually, I think he's on his first lap. The completion of his first lap, and it was a 39.985. That's just a little bit faster than what Thales Toledo laid down. I believe would have him somewhere around 6th or 7th position of the drivers that have taken time. As well, that with the fact that Google Documents is being used for the timing and scoring, don't pay a whole lot of attention to the numbers over on the left side of the screen, because as of right now, those numbers are 2 on down rather than 1 on down. So it would not actually show you who is currently in what position, plus the fact that the average lap times is what you have to go by, and right now the average lap times are not in order. As things stand right now, of the 8 drivers that have gone out and taken lap times, the running order would currently sit as follows. Right now, Chris Stouffer would be the fastest with his 39.783. Chad Frankenfield would sit second, Dan Liesch in third. Fourth place would be Chris White. Fifth, Joshua Furr. Sixth would be Rishav Khosla. Seventh place would be Thales Toledo, and Dustin Dewar right now would sit in eighth of the 8 drivers that have gone out and taken laps. Third lap was just laid down there by Carlos Aguiar, 40.048. Now that's actually not a bad lap time, at least for the third lap. Situates him as he crosses the line with a 40.014. That'll put him at a 40.001. Almost had a 40-second flat 4-lap average. And that's just barely faster than Chris White. So that, I believe, would situate him in the 4th position of 9 drivers that have gone out and taken time now. Next car that will go out is the 73 of Michael Goodman. Notified that I apparently manually myself can sort results. I don't think so. I don't think I've got those permissions. Nope. I'm pretty certain I cannot do that manually. If I remember how Google Docs work, you have to have permissions to be able to edit. And I don't think that works. The 73 of Michael Goodman that is out on track right now. Saw Goodman in the Monday night special event that Elite Racing had, and was very competitive in that race. Was up inside the top 10 for a majority of it. First lap laid down by him at 40.212. That is the slowest. Or I'm sorry, no, that is the second slowest lap time laid down, at least for the first lap. Slowest was Rishav Khosla's 40.238. So this is, right now at least, not looking like it's going to be a good 4-lap average. We'll see if he picks it up here on the second lap. Everybody, that this qualifying session, it's going to be going until 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Drivers have that opportunity to go out there and try and lay down better lap times. Now, I'm not exactly sure if these drivers are going to be able to... Hang on, I got to look here real quickly at something somebody sent me. Oh, okay. So I've been notified that apparently I can show the lap times in order, but it doesn't give the full layout. All right, well, we don't have our side-by-side set up to be able to do that, so we're going to keep it the way it is, and I'll just let you guys know like where someone would slot in. You know, when these drivers complete their entire field as far as their runs go, they more likely then will update the lap averages. Goodman about to complete his final lap. And he's going to turn in a 42.893. That's a 41.050 average lap time. That is the slowest of the 10 drivers that have now gone out and taken time. Have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a red withdrawal after his time momentarily. Going to go out there and get a better lap time. Better lap times means better starting position. One thing I was really surprised about when I was questioning Dan Liesch about the fact of, you know, do you want to get the really good lap times to start up towards the front of the field? I expected it was going to be a rhetorical question. I was expecting he was going to answer with a resounding yes, but no. He said he didn't think that really track position was going to be here at Indianapolis. Everybody in the same equipment. And he thought that maybe strategy was going to come into play. And I'll tell you what, if that's the case, you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to want to tune in. It's going to be airing here on the Flat Out Racing Network next Friday, November 15th, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be bringing you all that action, and that's going to be a crazy race. Liesch's words come to fruition. It is going to be a wild, wild event. Most people may not know this, but I'm not very familiar with iRacing, as you guys probably were very clearly able to know with the fact that I didn't know that I was in the wrong session at the very beginning of this broadcast. But I have actually run a couple of Indianapolis 500s on NR 2003. And in those Indianapolis 500s, it always seemed like track position was king. If you could be out in front, you'd be able to control the draft, control, them to maybe get side by side for second place while you pulled away. But case here in iRacing. Michael Goodman has withdrawn his run, so he will be going back out for a second time as we're looking at the 28 of Joe Branch out there on the track. That was a good first lap for him. 5.5. I believe that would put him fourth of the drivers that have gone out there in terms of their fastest first lap. Comes in at a 39.887. Now that second lap is faster than both Frankenfield's and Liesch's. So as of right now, he could very well, talking about Joe Branch, be tracking for second place behind Chris Stouffer. This third lap especially. Frankenfield's third lap was an 8.96. And Liesch, as he mentioned, had that little mistake, so it was a 40.028. So let's see where lap is going to stack up in relation, and he's going to hit a 39.903. That is a tick slower than Frankenfield's. So right now he is tracking to maybe be in the 39.8s, but right now I think he would be just a tick slower than Frankenfield's lap time. But with the fact that Frankenfield has withdrawn his lap, this would more than likely, at this point in time, put Joe Branch in second position. Don't forget, though, Frankenfield, there we go. On the 28 of Joe Branch, but Frankenfield has withdrawn, so he thinks he can go out there and maybe run a 4-lap average to contend with Chris Stouffer as the final lap run there for Joe Branch, 39.968, 39.903. So yeah, just a little bit slower than Frankenfield. Stouffer, Liesch, and Frankenfield as the only drivers so far that have had a 4-lap average in the 39-second bracket. So as of things stand right now, if we did not count Frankenfield's lap time with him choosing to go out and turn another lap, then that would mean right now your top 3 would be Chris Stouffer, Joe Branch, and Dan Liesch. I believe just hit the track, and that is Johnny Thomas. Now, Thomas on the scoring is listed in the 81 car. According to our timing and scoring, though, on our timing screen, it is showing him in the 21 car. Doesn't matter, though. Same guy. Still got a lot of drivers that have to go out there and turn lap times. A lot of drivers that we've seen week in, week out, including Vincent Isabella, Jared Rexing, Ethan Reasoner. A lot of these guys here concentrated on the qualifying and the Indy 500 next week. But boy, you guys want to see all bets are off race, you're going to want to tune in a week from this coming Monday. This coming Monday, we've got the Elite Racing League at, I believe it's Michigan. And the following week, though, it's their final race of the regular season, and it's at the Super Speedway of Daytona. Talk about a track where you could have a Cinderella story of a driver that might be outside of the playoff grid being able to get in with a victory. As of right now, it doesn't really look like points-wise there's going to be that much of a battle for drivers being able to move in and drivers falling out. It looks like it's really going to come down to if somebody is able to pull out a last-minute win, and Daytona is one of those places where something like that can happen. 39.856, first lap for Johnny Thomas. 39.965, his second lap. Two really good first laps there, both of them in the 39-second bracket. They would not put him on the pole. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody's going to be able to go out there and do what Christopher was able to do. He ran 39.7, 39.7, 39.7, and 39.8. I mean, it's all going to come down to really that first lap. If we see anybody else hit the 39.7s before we start talking about this person might have a shot at going for the pole position as well. 39.918, the third lap there for Johnny Thomas. So all of his lap times at least have been in the 39-second bracket. I'll put him somewhere in the same vicinity as Joe Branch. Lap times are somewhat similar, just a little bit slower. So I would say this would maybe put him around 39.98 perhaps. Is 40.007. But he did get a 4-lap average quicker than I predicted, 39.937. I had him in the 9.8s. So he almost had all 4 lap times in the 39s. Just a little over a 40-second lap time on his 4th and final lap. Two, mentioned about the fact that drivers going out there, their first lap is the best, second and third tapers off, their last one's their best. Well, this one, if we look at the run by Johnny Thomas, it just got consistently slower and slower, just by the least little bit, it seemed. Heading out, looks like Pedro H. Gomez, who has already hit the line. So he is now on his first lap. Anybody we can interview, but most of the people that we would have on standby for interviews have not gone out and taken lap times yet. Conditions should be all the same for these drivers as well, so same equipment, same track conditions. Down to who was able to get some qualifying laps in and who wasn't. I'm almost wondering, going back to, my snafu of not being in the correct session, I was wondering if maybe the 12 of Henry Bennett maybe wasn't in the correct session and didn't know about, being over here. Well, I'm seeing him on the running order. My assumption is that more than likely what he did was he was over there in that other session practicing the qualifying laps, since the track is not open for everybody to go out here in this session. It's just single car qualifying. So, go out there, get yourself some extra practice time, and we'll see if that's going to help him in any way, shape, or form. It'll be a while till we see him go out there. Oh boy, we could have someone maybe challenging for the top position. 39.783 was the first lap for Gomez. Fell off, though, on the second lap, 39.865. Now, I believe that would be tracking in the second position at 39.7 for his lap times. As a matter of fact, that was actually the fastest first lap put down. Beat Christopher's first fastest lap by a full 10th. You want to be technical about it. 39.813, the third lap there for Gomez. much faster third lap, so maybe he made a little bit of a mistake there on that second lap. But this is looking like it's going to be a really good lap time for Gomez. It's not going to get him the pole, but it might move him at least up, at least for right now, according to the live standings, into the second position. The 39's here for his fourth and final lap. That would more than likely put him into second place of the drivers that have gone out there and taken time. 39.884. 39.836 average lap time. It's him second on the board behind Chris Stouffer. Lap time there for Pedro H. Gomez. And we'll see, with some of these guys, we already know Frankenfield has withdrawn his lap time. Dan Liesch said that he's basically done. He's laid down the lap time he's going to stand on. But you look at some of these other guys running in there in the 39.8s, 39.9s, like Branch, Thomas, Gomez, the last three that went out. As we get closer and closer to the end of the drivers that are going out for their first time, if we see more drivers kind of bump them down, will we see a red withdrawn banner behind their names, and will they go out a second time? Going to be heading on out is going to be the 13 of Vincent Isabella. He has taken the green to begin his run. We've seen Vincent Isabella in the Mega Driver 86 series every Monday night. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he is one of those drivers when we get to Daytona that might be in a must-win situation to make it into the playoffs. For Vincent Isabella was a 39.877. 7 rather. At least right now, currently, they want to have lap times in the 39-second bracket. Seems like just about everybody that has gone out there and laid down a lap time, at least in the first or second laps, in the 40s or 41s, has withdrawn their 4-lap average and will be going out and trying again. It's interesting to watch these drivers approach to the track, too. I mean, like I said, I've only run Indianapolis in end of 2003, but I'm watching these guys and seeing really going into the corner. Because it's how you get into the corner and how you carry the speed off of the corner. It's almost like super speedway racing where you hold it wide open, you try and hold the wheel as steady as possible and gain as much speed as you possibly can, obviously, to try and get the best lap you can for the 4-lap average. 1.5 for his second lap. Third lap's going to clock in at a 39.901. In the 39s, but if he made a little mistake there, if the timing is any indication, this next final lap might just barely be over the 42nd lap bracket. But putting their two left wheels down below the white line. There's a rumble strip down there in case they get down towards the grass. Nobody seems to be going down there and utilizing that. So that might be that the rumble strip would upset the car or something. But I've not really seen anybody really get down next to that white line. Give it about a foot or so of room, and 40.238, the final lap, set down by Vincent Isabella. 39.960. It's going to be his 4-lap average. Is going to situate him 7th place, I do believe, of the drivers that have gone out there and taken time. In terms of the drivers that have not withdrawn, I believe that would situate him currently in the 6th position. Jared Rexing will be the next one out. About to come around here and, I believe, get the green flag to start his run. It's like Richard Petty has got an Indy car. The very familiar blue and red STP colors. Now, as I stated, I don't know how these cars handle. I have limited to no knowledge of how iRacing works. I've never actually raced on iRacing. I know it's, slightly based off of Enter 2003, but they make it so that it's more realistic in terms of how the driving works. And when I was in qualifying sessions for Indy 500 qualifying, my goal was kind of you would drive it deep into the corner, and then you would actually turn the car to the right to actually let it ride off the corner, straighten the car out, and get as much speed as you could in the little straightaways between turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. .850. First lap time laid down by Jared Rexing. He's going to follow that up with 783. Wow. And why I say wow is because I think that is the second driver only to Chris Stouffer, who laid down a 39.7 on his second lap. 1 for Stouffer on lap 2, 783 for Rexing on lap 2. If he can maybe still keep it in the high 7s to maybe low 8s here on the third lap, he did. Wow, 768 for his third lap. This is going to be a good lap time, good 4-lap average for Jared Rexing. Later and later into the session is when decision time is going to have to be made for some of these drivers like Rexing, like Gomez, like Thomas, Branch. They've got good lap averages, good 4-lap averages. Will they look so good when everybody's gone out there and completed their first lap time? I don't know. And would these drivers be willing to go out there, withdraw their 4-lap average, and maybe go out there and run a slower 4-lap average? Completes it with a 39.896. That's a 39.824 average for Jared Rexing. And that is a very good 4-lap average. That would currently situate him, I believe, in the second position of the drivers that have not had their times withdrawn. He would be behind Chris Stouffer and just ahead of Pedro Gomez. It's going to be very interesting to watch with Frankenfield. I mean, that looked like a really good lap time, but feels he can do better. We'll see. We'll see what his first lap time is going to be when he goes out there. Well, when I looked at the driver list, one name jumped out at me because it's a guy that I've actually raced quite a number of events with over in 2003, and that's this guy, John Poole III. As a matter of fact, 2 of the Indy 500s I took part on in under the IRL banner, hosted by Zach Buchanan, John Poole was a part of. I've raced with him. I know how good he is at Indianapolis. We'll see how good he is at qualifying, because I know he, I think when IRL went over to iRacing, which was very sad for me because I enjoyed racing in that league, John Poole III was actually a former pole sitter in their Indy 500. His first lap time, 39.850. Or I'm sorry, no, 39.763, which is faster than Chris Stouffer. This guy at Indianapolis is a qualifying machine, it seems. I don't know what it is, but he always seems to really qualify well. Let's see what he does for his second lap. Right now, he is tracking for the pole position. Stouffer was a 7.51. John Poole's is come in. .696. Holy cow. And the 39.6s overall, whether it be first, second, third, or final lap. So this is definitely a pole-setting lap right now, or at least in contention for it. Hits the line. Stove's third lap was a 7.24. John Poole the third's is going to be a waiting for the scoring to come in. You'd think it would probably be still maybe down in the sixes, maybe in the very low sevens, 39 sevens. We'll see. And the third lap was a 39.735. And coming to complete the final lap is John Poole the third. And I think right now he could very well be sitting at the top of the leaderboard. This is going to be a really good 4-lap average, 39.777. Finish it off with 3 sevens. Lucky sevens, as his 4-lap average is a 39.743. That is a full 0.4 faster than Christopher's 4-lap average. Now throwing down the gauntlet. Next up is going to be Ethan Reasoner. 86. He's already out on track. Well, we looked at time, and with seeing Frankenfield withdrawing his 39.8, gave the impression that there was something else out there to possibly get, and I think that John Poole III just proved that there is something else out there to get. Another 0.4 than what Christopher was able to get. Unless Frankenfield can go out there and lay down a really good lap time, I have a feeling we will not see a red withdrawn banner behind John Poole III. I'll be very interested to watch and see if we get one with Christopher. Could he go out there, get another 0.4 and edge out John Poole III? Would he be willing to take that risk? Not sure. We're going to hit the line here to complete his first lap. Let's see where it's going to score him. Let's wait for that first lap time to come in. I want to mention the fact that there is going to be a in-car driver for Full Throttle Network during the Indy 500. So that's going to be something new that we will have for you guys, different from our previous broadcasts. And I believe he is on Robert F. Kenny. Let's see, Vincent Isabella, you can see, has withdrawn his lap, his 4-lap average of a 39.960. So he'll be going back out there as the first 2 laps are in for Ethan Reasoner. 39.937 for his first, 39.909 for his second. Would not be pole setting first 2 laps. And right now, especially in relation to some of the drivers that have gone out before him, they are significantly slower. 39.995 his third lap. More than likely, unless he's able to keep it in the 39s, this will more than likely, I would assume, be somewhere around the 39.98s or 99s. Saw him going through that corner, and he had almost a full car length between himself and the white line. I don't know if these drivers just aren't willing to go down there that low into the corner. They feel that maybe that's going to unsettle the car, spin it out from underneath them, or what. But nobody really seems to go right down there on that white line. They give it an awful lot of room. As the completed lap for Ethan Reasoner, 39.956. That puts his 4-lap average at a 39.949. It's actually faster than I predicted. Maybe I shouldn't be predicting speeds because I'm apparently quite a ways off of them. Going to be a pretty slow 4-lap average. We'll see if Reasoner's going to be satisfied with that or if he's going to be going back out again, as next car out is going to be the 02 of Matt Hollibaugh. mispronouncing the name, I do apologize. Well, buddy that laid down a pretty doggone good lap time. Let's see what he felt about it. Let's bring in John Poole III. JP3, Seth Colip here in the Flat Out Racing Network booth. You got a moment to talk, bud?
I do. What's going on?
Hey, good to talk to you again. Been a long time, and man, where did those lap times come from?
Yes, it has been a long time, but I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know. And all the practices leading up to that, I never ran laps like that. I just was laser focused and got tunnel vision really bad and just did as best as I could.
Well, one thing that we know, a lot of drivers have a withdrawn red banner behind their names. They're not going to be going out, or they're going to be going out a second time trying to improve. But what about like for someone like you that's up there right now at the top of the board? We've seen that a 39.8 for Chad Frankenfield was withdrawn. He thinks he can maybe go out there and get something a little bit better. If he bests your lap time, are you satisfied with what you've got, or would you try going back out there again?
Definitely. I'm going to be watching everybody as they go out. The track has definitely cooled down. It's dropped about 8 degrees since we started here. So I'm just going to be monitoring it, making sure that not too many people jump me, but more than likely I will withdraw my time, but not right now.
Yeah, you talk about monitoring. Right now, we're monitoring the 0-2 of Matt Hollabaugh out there, and he just ran his first 2 laps in the 39.6. Your pole position's currently in jeopardy, but I mentioned before, that you and I, we raced each other in Enter 2003, and you were a qualifying machine over there when the IRL was having their Indy 500s. Is there any similarities between qualifying in Enter 2003 at this track and in iRacing, or are they completely 2 different animals?
I'll be completely honest, it's actually 2 different types of animals. This, just that little bit of mistake, you make a mistake with your line, forget it. You're not gonna qualify well. But with NR, there was definitely a lot more wiggle room per se with line. You didn't have to be as precise, as concise with the line. You could give up a little bit here and there. But with this car and setup combo, it's very difficult.
Yeah, I remember over in Enter 2003 as well. It seemed like in the main events, track position was really important. But we had Dan Liesch up here earlier, and I asked him the same question of, is track position important, getting the fast lap time, getting the pole position? And he said he doesn't really think so here. They're racing this particular package. Do you concur?
Definitely track position is important. I'm not going to deny that, but definitely for sure track position early on, if you want to position yourself so you don't get involved in, say, an accident or this or that. It's important to a point, but it's not essential. I'll say that.
All right, well, we're going to give you a chance to go back down there. You probably might be going out there for another try because we just saw that Matt Hollabaugh with a 39.657 for his 4-lap average. So you apparently got some work to do. Is there anything out there you think you can still get to maybe compete with that? Can you possibly get anything more out there on the track?
Oh, absolutely. There's always little things that you can work on with your line, or you could have done this better, that better. I probably could have ran a little bit tighter line. Mine was kind of a little off the white line, so yeah, for sure. There's room for improvement, but we'll just have to wait and see.
All right. Well, good to talk to you again, and thanks for taking time to be able to chat.
Alrighty, Seth. Thank you so much.
Wow. So what a lap time laid down there. 39.657. You look at the 4 laps that were laid down by Matt Hollabaugh. 9.6, followed it up with a 6.51, a 6.44, and a 6.37. Progressively got faster as the run went on. And boy, we'll have to see. I mean, we've got John Poole III, who was out there and ran really good lap times. Chris Stouffer. We think Chad Frankenfield might have a little bit more in the tank. Do they have anything they can do differently when they go out there and they face off against... Oh, I believe I actually am focused on the wrong driver here. I do apologize. But will they have anything when they go out there for their second time. I mean, we heard John Poole III say that if someone bests his lap time, he'll probably withdraw his lap and go out there a second time. Actually, be focused on the 6 of Cass Silman, so my apologies there. I was focused on the 12 of Henry Bennett, who is actually waiting to go out there. First 2 laps have been laid down by Cass Silman. First lap, a 39.711, and a 39.703 for his second, so those are actually some really good lap times there as well. If we hadn't had Hollabaugh go out there running 39.6s, we'd be looking at Cass Silman right now as a driver to compete for the pole position. 39.808 his third lap, so it tapered off just a little bit there on lap 3. See if he can pick it back up here on the 4th lap. If he can pick it back up, he probably could lay down his final lap at somewhere in the 39.79 area, or at least in the high 39.7s. See what the line. And lock in with a wow. So he had bookend laps. First lap was a 7:11, second lap was a 7:11, and that's a huge pickup from the 8:08 he ran on lap 3. Almost an entire tenth of a second difference between lap 3 and lap 4, so you almost wonder if maybe he had a little bobble, maybe a little bit of a mistake there on the third lap. But a 39.733 for Cass Silman. Right now, that would slot him second behind Hollabaugh. So our top 5 is definitely shuffled up quite a bit from when we last updated it. Right now, Hollabaugh would be top of the board with his 39.667, or I'm sorry, 657 rather. Behind him, you'd have Cass Silman in second. Third place right now would be John Poole the third. Christopher would currently sit in the 4th position. And right now, I believe 5th place of the drivers that have not withdrawn, I believe would be Pedro H. Gomes. Nope, I'm sorry. It actually would be Jared Rexing. Next in 6th. So, have the red withdrawn banner behind them. Frankenfield, Kosla, Furr, Duer, Toledo, as well as Aguiar, Goodman, Thomas, and Isabella. And I think we're going to see more of them as this run goes on. At Henry Bennett, we saw quite a bit of him at the beginning stages of the broadcast because of my error. We'll see if being out there, in that other session, continuing to practice qualifying, if that's going to help him. Boy, he had a good first lap, 39.687. With faster than the first lap laid down by Hollabaugh, who right now would be top of the board. 6.76 is going to be his second lap. That is 0.2 slower. So he was about a 10th faster on his first lap, 0.2 slower on his second lap. So right now he's lacking about a 10th. Or I'm sorry, a 100th rather. I'm sorry, not a 10th, a 100th. He's lacking about a 100th in speed to Hollabaugh. If he's going to counter it back, he's got to run a 39.63 or somewhere in that vicinity here. See what he hits for his third lap, and it's going to be a 6.4. Almost right on par with the third lap laid down by Hollabaugh. So this is the deciding lap right here. He's about 1/100th off. If he can run 9.62 on this final lap, he will more than likely edge out Hollabaugh for the pole position. But if he runs in the 6.3s, then he will just be behind Hollabaugh in terms of the 4-lap average. Looks like staying in that other server, practicing, really certainly seemed to pay off. Let's see what he gets. His 4th and final lap is going to clock in as a 6.37, exact same final lap as Hollabaugh did. So you can see right there, he is going to be 4 1,000ths slower 4-lap average than Matt Hollabaugh. Boy, those last 2 laps for both Hollabaugh and Bennett were almost identical. Next driver that's going to be out there is going to be the 99 of Vic Bloom. I mean, look at those last 2 laps for the 0-2 and the 12. A 6.44 to a 6.42, and then a 6.37 for both of them. Further and further into the field, the speeds are picking up. So we've got some guys there that were kind of laying in the weeds, so to speak, as Vic Bloom now out there in the number 99 machine getting ready to lay down his first lap. I believe he just completed his first lap, unless that was the beginning of his first lap. Actually, I think that actually was the beginning of his first lap. I think he's about to come around and complete his first lap here. At the running order, and behind Bloom, we've only got a few more drivers left that were in the original list. Gabriel Essek, Liam Sheen, and Ryan Blanchard. 4 drivers left before we're going to begin to see the second attempts by drivers that withdrew their previous 4-lap runs. 39.867 is going to be the first lap for Vic Bloom. Trying to look for someone that we can kind of compare lap times to, and that's kind of in the vicinity of Johnny Thomas. Around the same area as Johnny Thomas, Vincent Isabella, who have both already withdrawn their original run. Second lap completed by Bloom is going to be a 2-0. In the 39.8s. Right now, he is running just about on par with Vincent Isabella, I would say. 2 tenths faster, or 2 100ths faster. I don't know why I keep saying tenths. 2 100ths faster on his first lap, and then about maybe 5 1,000ths slower on his second lap. So I have a feeling that if Vincent Isabella has withdrawn his lap time, that we may end up seeing Vic Bloom do the same. Of drivers withdraw yet that I kind of expected we would. Thought maybe we'd see Jared Rexing possibly withdraw his lap. Ethan Reasoner possibly withdraw his lap, but neither one of them have done so. Maybe might have withdrawn his lap as well. But again, qualifying session for the reason of allowing East Coast and West Coasters to be able to get in and have time to be able to put down, the laps that they want and get as many runs as they want to. And the clock as the final lap comes in for Vic Bloom, and he's going to hit a 39.7 for his final lap, a 7.78. 39.830 for Vic Bloom. His 4-lap average is just a little bit slower than Jared Rexing's 4-lap average. We'll see if Pedro Gomes may be considering withdrawing his 4-lap run as well. Next car out is going to be the 11 of Gabriel, I believe it's pronounced Essek. I apologize, and if it's neither one of those, I apologize even more. Let's get a word here with Vincent Isabella, who has withdrawn his entry, and see what else he can get out there on his second attempt. Here in the Flat Out Racing Network booth, you got a moment to talk? See if we can get him again here. Vincent, Seth Cole up here in the Flat Out Racing Network booth. Got a moment? Is not there currently. So we'll try him again later on. As right now, the 11 car clocks in with a 39.789. About 2 100ths off of John Poole III's first lap. would be tracking somewhere just around the vicinity of, if not 5th place, just outside of the top 5. As far as I'm aware, will have unlimited attempts to be able to go out there if they have withdrawn. And I'm not certain. I would assume that they have until 10 o'clock to withdraw even their original first 4-lap average. So, you're looking at guys here. Pedro Gomes, Rexine, Reasoner, guys that we might think might withdraw their 4-lap average. Just because they haven't had the withdrawn banner go behind their name just mere moments after they completed their 4 laps does not mean that later on in the evening they may not decide, oh, okay, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try again. I mean, we're seeing a lot of drivers pile up right now. Right now we have 9 drivers that are waiting in the queue for when everybody goes out and completes their laps, that they'll be going out for a second attempt. But I think as we get later and later into this qualifying session, we're going to see fewer and fewer drivers going out there and trying to improve their laps. This league does not have the Fast 9 in terms of qualifying, and right now I believe all drivers that are in this qualifying session, they are going to be in the race. How about that? Back-to-back drivers running 4-lap averages of 39.830s. Gabriel Essick. Exact same identical 4-lap averages. So now, being the last driver in the list to complete a lap time, we now jump back. I believe we're actually now going to get the first look here, at least here in the broadcast, at Chad Frankenfield. He and Rishabh Khosla had both actually gone out and completed their lap times before I had been able to swap the session over. Back out there. This was one I was kind of wondering about. I'm seeing some guys go out there, and they've been laying down 39.7s, 39.6s. Frankenfield went out there, and he was running consistent 39.8s at a 39.872 for his first 4-lap average. Can he improve on that? Let's find out. Now, I believe that the original laps that they laid down are not going to be taken off of the... We will actually get the opportunity to be able to see the original 4-lap average of these drivers and what their 4-lap average was on their second run to see if there was an improvement or if there was not an improvement, whether they gained time or whether they lost time, and in turn maybe gained or lost positions in the starting grid. First lap laid down by Chad Frankenfield. His first lap on his first run was a 39.835. I'm going to assume that Frankenfield is the one that is laying down, or is writing down these timings. So I'm going to assume we're probably not going to see his 4 laps until after his run is completed. At least with Frankenfield here, to be able to compare live at the spur of the moment his lap times and compared to the lap times he laid down in his first run. We'll have to wait until those are calculated after he completes his run here, because Frankenfield is the admin of this thing, and so he is probably the one that is putting in all of the time slots and doing the calculations in terms of the 4-lap averages. So look at these names we got down here that are going to be going out and their lap times. You get Frankenfield, Khosla, Doer. You also got a couple of guys there, Aaron Roots, as well as Robert F. Kenny, who's going to be our Flat Out Racing Network in-race reporter. Like they're going to be making their first lap runs. But you've also got Thales Toledo, Michael Goodman, Joshua Furr, Carlos Aguiar, Chris Wilhite, Vincent Isabel and Johnny Thomas at this point in time, who are all going to be going back out there. And some other guys maybe pop up, as I said. As this evening wears on, withdrawing their runs and trying to go out there and improve their lap times as well. Okay, and I've just been notified I did mess up on a name. And I do apologize. It is not Hollenbaugh, it is Hollabaugh. I do apologize. I put an N in there. Giving someone an identity crisis. My apologies about that. So Frankenfield just completed his run. He'll put in the lap times that he laid down, and boy, looks like they were definitely an improvement. 39.658 for his first lap. Second lap came in at a third flat. We looking at a possible new pole sitter right now? Because these are looking much better than Hollabaugh's were. 6.12 for his third lap and a 6.36 for his fourth. And to the top of the board goes Chad Frankenfield. So there was something out there still to be gained. 39.627 is going to be Chad Frankenfield's new 4-lap average. And Pedro H. Gomez has his 4-lap average. So he'll be going out another time as we're looking here at Rishav Khosla. Remember, we talked to him earlier on, and boy, I don't know if I was seeing things incorrectly or not, but it looked like that car really fishtailed off the corner, almost hit the wall. I don't know if he went down to the inside just to try and get some good straightaway speed or what, but that looked like he was having a little bit of an issue. Was got knocked off of the top of the leaderboard by Frankenfield, but let's find out if Matt Hollabaugh, as I am hopefully saying his name correctly now, and he'll probably let me know if I am. Let's see if we can get a word with him, see if he might go back out there and try and topple Frankenfield.
Hello?
Here in the Flat Out Racing Network booth, get a moment.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you need?
First off, I have eliminated the N out of your name, hopefully, for the future of this broadcast. But you just got topped by Frankenfield. So,
dang it.
Do you like where you're at? Do you like where your lap time is? Or are you going to try and go back out there?
Well, I'll be real with you. I'm planning on withdrawing my time eventually. I want to try and go out as late as possible because the track is cooling down significantly from the start of the session. It's only going to get cooler and cooler as it goes. So I want to try and get in some runs. I might have one in between now and the final one, but I want to make sure that I get a run out towards the very end of the session because I have a strong feeling that one of the last 3 or 4 runs of this entire session is going to be the one that gets pole. It's just grip is at such a premium. At the start of this thing, it was you could barely go 4 laps flat out. Like that in itself was a challenge. As it gets cooler and cooler, though, you get so much more mechanical grip to offset the fact that the current fixed setup we're running has negative 6.8 degrees of rear wing, which actually it seems to be providing lift. Like that's not what you want in these things. So you need to get all the mechanical grip you can, and cooler temperatures help out with that.
Definitely see how that would be the case. One thing that I noticed with your lap time specifically that didn't seem to be happening with just about everybody else was your lap times were getting consistently faster. And a lot of people that I've been talking to earlier have been saying that it's really all about momentum. So with that being said, do you think that going out there with the cooler conditions that the lap times will continue to consistently get faster, or do you think that we're going to maybe see a good first lap, it taper off, and then a lightning fast last lap?
Truth be told, I wasn't expecting to go fastest on my last lap. I have my delta bar up top, and and saw it getting closer and closer. It just stayed green the whole time. I'm like, okay, I accept this. But it's like it's not getting cooler run to run. It's getting cooler lap to lap. And the tires are able to last longer and longer. And as you said, momentum is going to be king. So that's why I'm not sure if you noticed this on the broadcast, but on my outlap, like I've inquired with race control about this, and it's totally legal. But I also do this in official racing, and I plan on doing it in the Open Wheel 500 for qualifying tomorrow. But you can actually. It's not the most realistic thing for iRacing. Hopefully they fix this in the future, but for now I'm going to take advantage of it. You can actually exit the short chute in 1 and 2 on your outlap. You can exit from turn 1 all the way to the outside wall, and as long as you get back to the access road in turn 2, that counts, and you can get so much more straight line speed on your first lap. Like momentum, even on your outlap, it is imperative that you go as fast as possible. You get to the highest top speed that you possibly can as early as you can. Because if you lift even a little bit, you're not gonna have anything.
We're gonna have to see if maybe you've opened the door. Guys that are gonna try and improve their lap time, maybe they'll use a little strategy. Here on the broadcast, Rishav Koslaw waived his lap, so he going out probably another time, and we're currently looking at the 32 of Dustin Doer. One last question I wanted to ask you. You mentioned about the fact that they've lowered the rear wing. I've heard a couple people mention there's a bit of a tailwind out there. I'm seeing a lot of drivers seem like they're scared to go down to that white line going into the corners. Is that because of the fact that they're afraid the car is going to come out from underneath them? With the way you're saying, it kind of feels like there's some there.
Well, there is a tailwind going. Oh, it seems like I heard skid marks on the track. I'm not live on iRacing right now. You might want to. Did someone crash?
I believe, yep, the 32 of Dustin Doer has had an issue here, and he is going to go off track. He has waived his lap time, so that'll send the 77 out, but continue.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. He'll get another run in, though. It's not going to be too huge of a deal for him. But anyways, yeah, turn 1, there is definitely a tailwind. You got to be careful of that. But if you really, it's just with how little rear wing there is. You're right. Yeah, it can be difficult to get all the way to the bottom without wearing your tires or just killing momentum. Because if you turn the wheel too much, not only is there a chance that you might get loose with how little rear wing we have, but you'll just scrub your front tires. And when the tires aren't going in the direction you're traveling, when they're just a little bit off angle, that's just that you're just scrubbing speed, and you don't want to do that. You want to turn the wheel as little as possible. It's kind of a combination of, I want to hit this apex, but I also don't want to turn my wheel. So you kind of have to. It's a balancing act.
I mean, I've definitely come to realize that you're almost in less control than you realize with these open wheel race cars, and so you almost kind of have to baby into the corners. So that makes a perfect sense that you wouldn't necessarily attack the apex for fear of maybe having a little mistake. And a lot of people have mentioned too, you make a mistake, it's very difficult to make it back up, not only in just one lap, but in the following laps for the remainder of the run. But yeah, so right now, currently you and Frankenfield sit there in the 39.6s, so we'll see if you've got anything for him later on here, and best of luck with that. Thanks for talking to us.
Anytime. Thank you for having me. Keep up the good work.
Really interesting there. You hear the fact, so apparently for these drivers, going out there, getting that pole position is very important to them, even to the fact that, really good 4-lap average for Matt Hollabaugh. You got a 39.657, and he's still considering going out there and seeing if he can best Frankenfield for the pole position. Also interesting, too, the fact that saying some cloud cover is coming in. So we may end up seeing a lot of these guys that went out early, that were running in the 40s, running in the 39.9s, 39.8s. We could see their lap times possibly pick up. But as you saw, Rishav Koslaw, he waived his run. Dustin Doer, he waived his run, so they will be going back out again. John Poole III, he mentioned that he was possibly going to withdraw his lap. He has done so. So those guys are back in the queue. We also have another guy that's going to be in the queue as well that will be going out and making his first run along with Robert Kenny, and that is going to be Ben Fuller. And at the 77 of Thales Toledo, his first lap on his original run had another person withdraw. And I'm not certain who it was. The other monitor had an update. I think it was actually updating with John Poole III. But as we look at the 77's first laps, he was running in the 39.9s, 40.1s. Look at these lap times now. 39.784, 39.705, 39.799. He crosses the line, completes his fourth lap. 39.836. That improves him up to a 39.781 four-lap average. And that puts him up there with drivers like Chris Stouffer, John Poole III, Cash is in the 39 improved there. Four was 10 faster original though. And as stated, it may not seem like much, but every position you gain and every improvement you make in time-wise is an improvement on your start position in the grid for the Indianapolis 500. 73 of Michael Goodman is now out on track. Prove on his original run, which was a 41.050, the only driver out of all the drivers that went out there on the original list to take time, the only driver that had an average in the 41s. So to be perfectly honest, there's nothing for the 73 to do but go up in the starting grid. Lap is going to be his first lap on his first run. Was a 40.212. Let's see what he gets this time. Let's see if that cloud cover means anything. They're going to help him improve on this run. 160. So it's not a whole lot faster, but it is faster. About maybe 5/100ths faster his first lap here. So he's tracking at least faster. Don't know if this is going to put him up ahead of anybody, though. Some of the guys that he might be able to pass, maybe Dustin Dewar, who had a 40.932, be one of the only ones that maybe, just maybe, Michael Goodman could pass. Rishav Khosla maybe as well, dependent on what his lap times look like here for his second, third, and fourth laps. That's all they want. They just want to find themselves ahead of maybe one or two other drivers. One thing in these qualifying sessions, too, it can affect you mentally. People, well, you go out there, you go fast, you turn left, you keep the car ready, you keep the car straight. That's all you have to do. No. You're out there trying to think each lap, what can I do a little bit differently? Where can I gain a little bit more speed? And it can mess with your psyche. 40.034 is going to be his second lap, and his comparison to his last run, that was a lot better. That was 0.6 faster, his second lap, than his original run. So that was a lot better. Third lap, 40.258. Compare that to a 40.450. So he is running infinitely faster. And he right now looks like he could be somewhere in the vicinity of being close to Rishav Khosla. Remember, Khosla still has to go out there and put down a second full 4-lap run. Crosses the line. Let's see what he gets. A lap. Compare it to a 42.893, and he hits a 40.220. 40.168, just a little bit slower than Rishav Khosla, but much improved from his 41.050 now to a 40.168. So good job there by Michael Goodman. That's actually going to bypass him past Dustin Dewar, at least for the moment, on the running order. And Joshua Furr is going to be the next one out on his second run of the day. Joshua Furr's first run was a 40.050. I believe he's coming down to begin his first lap. And so to go back to what I was mentioning about the fact, how qualifying can affect you mentally. And, you're thinking about so many things of how you can improve your speed, as it looks like the 77 is going to go out there a third time. He's withdrawn his second 4-lap run. And so a lot of these guys have to, they have to look at their competition. They have to look at the lap times they're capable of making and think, okay, I may not have a car that can start on the pole, but I know that I have a car that can start here in relation to the other drivers around me. I mean, maybe you have for 10th place. Maybe you have to shoot for 15th place. But you can't set your goals too high, because that's when you start making mistakes, especially in something like a qualifying session where even the slightest little mistake can end up ruining your opportunity. And it looks like both the 77 and the 73, Toledo and Goodman, have withdrawn their laps. They think they can do a little bit better. The point here where we're going to have to start scrolling down to be able to show you guys these lap times that these drivers are out there putting down. 02 of Matt Hollabaugh has withdrawn his lap, so Frankenfield better watch out. Couple of fast cars that laid down some really good lap times before Frankenfield went out there for his second run. They're going to go out there and see what else they can get. John Poole III and Matt Hollabaugh. Chris Stouffer is not in the server, so I think he has laid down the lap time that he wants to lay down. So it looks like he will stay with 39.783. Take a look at these laps laid down here by Joshua Furr. 39.684, 39.634 for his first two laps. Tick off of Chad Frankenfield, but they are certainly an improvement over what he was laying down earlier. Earlier, he was running 39.8s, 39.9s in his first two laps. 8.6 for his third lap. So that cloud cover that Hollabaugh was talking about, apparently that, I don't know if it's necessarily that or just the drivers are now getting a little bit used to what the track brings to the table and how they can approach. But I think it could be a combination of both, as the completion of the fourth lap for Joshua Furr is 39.657. Look at this, 39.665 for his 4 laps. That is a huge improvement over a 40.050, which he had very early on in this qualifying session. Going to have our in-car reporter for the Indy 500, Robert F. Kenny, now taking to the track. This is going to be his first time on the racetrack, his first 4-lap average attempt. Between Joshua Furr and Chad Frankenfield, and how about this? Chad Frankenfield, 39.627, and he's withdrawn. He's going to go out there and try and get an even better lap time. Behind was Joshua Furr. I have John Poole III, Hollabaugh, Frankenfield. They're going to go at it again. Joshua Furr might go out there again too, because I mean that was pretty good 4-lap average. If he can get a little bit more out of his machine, he might have something to say about the pole position. F. Kenny puts down here for his first official lap in this qualifying session. Robert F. Kenny is driving in the number 34. We don't have a number after his name on the timing and scoring over there on the right side of the screen, but he is in the 34 car. And we'll have more drivers that are going out there for their second attempt, including Aguiar, Wilhite, Isabella, Thomas, Gomes, Rishav Coleslaw going out for a third time. First run, and he waved off his second run. 39.739 and a 39.687. The first 2 laps laid down by Robert F. Kenny. They aren't pole winning material, at least right now, but they are up at least in the conversation to put him up in the vicinity of the top 5. Now, what I'm going to be doing is after Kenny completes his lap, I will be refreshing Discord again just to make sure that my microphone and internet connection. Oh, man. Oh, Kenny got the wall. And I think he's going to wave this lap time. Yep, that car's coming to a slow stop. I think he might be waving off this run. He got the wall pretty good there with the right side of his machine, so there and try again. Looks like he is currently coasting it back to pit road. No, he's going to try and finish it out, but boy, he lost a lot of momentum with hitting the wall. Being his last lap, he figured he would finish it out at a 39.662 for his third lap, and his final lap is going to be obviously much slower. And yep, he's waved it. He waved it off. Fourth and final lap. So they will send out the 5 of Carlos E. Aguiar. And so as Aguiar is going to go around here for his warm-up and get ready to take the green to begin his run, give me just a moment. You'll have a little bit of radio silence going on here as I'm going to refresh Discord, and I will be right back in a moment. There we go. We are back. Also, apologies for having Discord pop up there in front of the timing and scoring, but I wanted to make sure, at least on the broadcasting monitor, that I made sure Discord knew that I was still here, so that way it does not randomly decide to kick out the account that has this broadcast going on. Aguiar is about to complete his first lap. His first lap on his last run was a 39.985. This time, let's see how much he improved or maybe stayed the same. His 4 laps on his last run was just a tick over a 40-second flat. It was a 40.001. He completes his second lap to find out what the first and second laps were. .744 for his first lap. And that is infinitely better by 0.2, more than 0.2 from his previous first lap, 39.716, his second lap. Definitely tracking a lot better than he was in the first run. And you know, with that cloud cover coming in, I'm looking at some of these lap times we saw very early on in the session. These drivers are taking advantage of that cloud cover, realizing that there's another 0.2 out there, another 0.3 to be gained. A lot of drivers that were running in the 39.9s early on in the session, 39.8s, 39.9s, they're now down in the 39.7s. His third lap is going to be and is scoring to update itself here. It's on his final lap, though. Could be, at least with his first 2 laps, he would be in the 39.7s as far as his average is concerned. Third lap is coming in here, and it was a 39.725, so he still is right there in the vicinity of a 39.7 average, crosses the line, completes his 4th lap, and is this also going to be in the 39.7s No, it's not. It's in the 39.6s. Even better. 39.688. A 39.718 for his 4-lap average. Now, one thing I'm going to do here, not on the broadcast, but I'm going to try and figure out. Guess sent me a message on how to be able to see how the scoring was. All right, I've just been notified that if a driver who has a withdrawn time doesn't get a chance to run because of the time, their withdraw time actually goes back into effect. So that's actually very important to know, and thank you, Chad, for letting me know about that. So, like, for instance, let's say we end up hitting 10 o'clock and somebody withdraws their time and they're still in the queue and we hit 10 o'clock and the qualifying session is over. It would resort, I'm assuming, back to their original, or to the last withdrawn time that they had. So that's actually really important too. I mean, we still got about an hour and 40 minutes for these drivers to be able to go out there and improve their lap times. But when we start getting down towards the end, considering, did I want to put myself there in the queue or not? Which would make sense, too, with drivers maybe wanting to go out there and continue to try and improve their laps, because, you would probably want to withdrawn 39.7 rather than a withdrawn 39.9. Of Chris Wilhite. He had a 0.5 for his first 4-lap average. On his first run was a 39.879. This time it is a 7.80. Is just about on par with what he had before. He's about 9 1,000ths faster currently. Whole lot of pickup here out of the 7 car. We'll see what his second lap time is, see if there's a drastic difference. He had a 8.84 for his second lap the last time. This time he's going to have a 6.97. Yep, he picked up. Definitely picked up. Picked up on the second lap by 0.2. The same as his first lap of his first run. But a huge, significant difference there on the second lap. He might find himself in the 39.6s for laps 3 and 4 as well. Don't know if maybe he just didn't have that fast of a warm-up lap. Well, between a 7.80 and a 6.79. It's a full tenths difference. A 6.81. So he almost ran an identical second and third lap. Just 2 1,000ths slower between laps 2 and 3 rather. So we'll see if he can still keep it in the 39.6s. Right now, he would be in line for a very low 39.7. Somewhere in the same vicinity as Carlos Aguiar, maybe down there in the 39.71s. Across the line. His last lap on the first run was a 40.135. This time it is... pretty sure it's going to be much better than that. It's still going to be down in the 39s at least. Come in. 13 of Vincent Isabella is the next car that will go out. 39.663 just came in as the fourth and final lap there for Chris Whitehill. So he's down in the 39.70s. 701 for him. Almost cracked into the 39.6s. Three tenths faster than his first 4-lap run. For his second time, trying to improve on a 39.960. point in time, we are nearing the hour and a half remaining in the qualifying session. We'll have to see if anybody ends up being added in late. I mean, we saw Robert F. Kennedy get added to the list late. Ben Fuller got added to the list late. So we'll see if there's going to be anybody else as we get closer and closer into what would be basically considered the timing for West Coast drivers. If they might start coming in, we might have some more drivers peek in. Starting to see as well with the cloud cover, more drivers being more willing to go down to that white line. You look there at Vincent Isabella, he had his two left sides down there. We had a little bit of a connection issue there. Yeah, we did. Tiny bit of connection issue for the 13. Good news for him is, though, that there's nobody else out on track there. So I don't think that a warping, laggy car is necessarily going to be issues for anybody. Holy cow, boy, the warp, the power of the warp put him in the 39.6s, though. 39.688 for his first lap and a 6.38 for his second lap. Just a little bit off of Frankenfield's. It's about 0.3 slower on both his first and second laps, but this is really good for Vincent Isabella. Huge pickup for the 13 car. Trying to real quickly take a look here as we're watching the 13 to see about how, not necessarily on the broadcast screen, but how I can see who is where for the running order in terms of lap times. Oh, there it is. I found it. Not sure it's updated, though. Okay, so according to what I've got here, it is updated, but it's updated in relation to the drivers that have not withdrawn their time. Okay, so that's actually very helpful. And how about Vincent Isabella there? 39.634 is going to be his new 4-lap average. I'll send the Thomas out for his second run, but boy, compare that 39.634 of Isabella run of a 39.960. That is a 0.3 pickup, more than 0.3. Now, according here of drivers that have not taken out their lap times. Right now, we only have 13 cars that officially have their lap times in the books that have not withdrawn their laps. Right now, Vincent Isabella would sit at the top of the board with a 39.634. Henry Bennett second with a 39.661. Joshua Furr right behind it with a 39.665 in third place. Chris Wilhite in fourth. He is at a 39.701. Carlos Aguiar is currently in fifth with a 7.18, and right now, the rest of your top 10 would be Cass Silman, Chris Stouffer, Jared Rexing, Gabriel Essick, and Vic Bloom. And of the other drivers that have taken time and currently have not withdrawn it would be Joe Branch, Ethan Riesener, and Dan Lee Esch. On the clock, trying to improve. 39.937. His lap times are much better than his first lap times in his first run. He had a 39.8 and a 39.9 in the first run. 39.6 for his first lap. A 6.76, and his second lap is going to be a 39.651. He's tracking just around the same area as Vincent Isabella. And I think we can now, here in this final hour and a half, we can start kind of speculating and looking at the battle for the pole position, now that we have the sorted times and everything. Now, this would be just a little bit off of Vincent Isabella's time. Right now, Vincent Isabella would be top of the board, currently would be sitting in the pole sitter spot. But again, let's not forget, you got guys down there like Hollabaugh, you've got Frankenfield, you got John Poole III, who had really good lap times. Frankenfield on his second run, Poole and Hollabaugh on their first runs. That, I don't know, can we see someone crack into the 39.5s? I doubt it. I doubt we'll see that happen, but I don't know. There could be a chance. 39.567 for Johnny Thomas's third lap. And when I mean a 39.5, I know that some drivers have been laying them down here on laps. I mean as far as a 4-lap average. Could we see someone hit a 39.5 4-lap average? I doubt it. However, the last 2 laps by Johnny Thomas were in the 39.5s. So maybe someone, if someone can run consistent 39.5s for all 4 laps, it may be possible. Times there, laps 3 and 4 have put Johnny Thomas to the top of the board with a 39.616 average lap. Pedro H. Gomez is going to go out there, and I'm going to actually see, I don't know if this will necessarily work, if you guys are going to be able to see it very well, but I will bring it up here on the broadcast as well. This is a look at what the grid looks like as far as the sorted times and who is where. Johnny Thomas there at the top of the board. Yeah, we actually can do this. We can do this on the broadcast. Why not? So that 616 puts him at the top over Vincent Isabella, and there you can see all the drivers that have taken time. Right now, 13 drivers currently sit with their times currently intact and have not withdrawn their lap times. And you can see all those other drivers down there that currently are in the queue. Gomez, Kosla, Fuller, Dewar, Poole the third, Hollabaugh. Actually, I pronounced it Aaron Roots. It's actually Aaron Roofs. My apologies. That's an F, not a T. Toledo, Frankfield, Goodman, Kenny, Bloom, and Liam Sheen. So I was wondering about like other drivers maybe coming in here as we draw closer into times that would be for the West Coasters. And there's your answer. Scroll down here. Scroll down till we get to Liam Sheen's name there. There you go. He has withdrawn their times, and yeah, there's another driver that's actually withdrawn his time that I don't think we documented. That's Vic Bloom in the 99. Be going back out there on a 39.830. Car that we're looking at right now is the 09 of Pedro H. Gomez. Gomez is trying to improve on a 39.836. I mean, there were drivers that were running consistent 39.8s, 39.9s at the beginning. Just about everybody that's gone out there now, at least for the last 8 drivers, have run either 39.6 or 39.7 for their first lap. 39.622, a 39.601 for his first 2 laps. Cloud cover is definitely coming into play, I would have to assume. I mean, we are seeing pickups of 2 to 3 tenths from the beginning of the qualifying session to right now. 39.578. Looking very similar to what Johnny Thomas was able to do. 39.6, 39.6, and then he ran 39.5s for his final 2 laps. Looks like Gomez is trying to do exactly the same thing. So he would be en route to taking the pole position away from Johnny Thomas, who just moments ago took it away from Vincent Isabella. Off turn 4, down the straightaway. Let's see if he's going to be able to go in the 39.5s for the second straight lap, just like Johnny Thomas did. 39.567. We got a new driver at the top of the board. And he hit the 39.5 average. How about that? I wondered if it was possible. There's the answer. First driver to do it here today, 39.595 for Pedro H. Gomez. And that is going to put him up to the top of the board. So now things get a lot more interesting, too, here with this. Because, you know, we were wondering about drivers that were up there with good lap times, if they were going to go back out there. Well, I think that the resounding answer now is yes. Because drivers that we were looking at that were laying down 39.7s, and we were thinking, oh, these are the guys that are going to be up there battling for the pole. Now we've got guys out there that are laying down 39.6s and 39.5s for their 4-lap averages. So this makes it a whole new ball game as the cloud cover starts to come in and the grip starts to amp up. These drivers are out there, and we're getting more and more competition of drivers trying to get themselves up there on the pole position as Rishav Khosla out for the third time. He went out originally, completed a 4-lap run, withdrew it, went out a second time, had issues, and waved it off. So this is the third time that he is out there on track. His second run, we will not count, will adhere back to his first 4-lap run. So he's trying to improve on a 40.140. And if these lap times we're seeing here in the last number of cars that have gone out are anything to go by, he will definitely improve. Let's see if he can get down to the 39.6s for his first lap. Last 3 drivers have been able to do so. And he does. 39.655. Now that's a little bit slower than Gomez, but that is faster than both Thomas and Isabella. So if he can improve maybe by about 2 100ths here on this next lap, which he did not do. He ran a 39.651. So right now he is currently sitting about 7 100ths slower than Pedro Gomez. He currently, though, I think would be right in the vicinity of either second or third place. Had another driver withdraw. Carlos Aguiar has withdrawn his lap time, so he's now going to be back in the queue. Well, I was going to look and see where he was before he withdrew, but they've already updated the sorted time, so never mind. 6.5 going to be the third lap for Coastline. Now, that is slower than the last 3 drivers that went out there. So right now, I think he would be tracking the 4th position. I think he would be lined up behind Vincent Isabella. Really good lap here, but I think he would have to be somewhere in the 39.53s if he was going to take even third position away. He's going to cross the line. 7. So I believe that's going to situate him in 4th. He's going to have an average of a 39.636. And yeah, he's just a tick behind Vincent Isabella by 2 1,000ths. He's just going to miss out on third place. So Gomez still top of the board. Thomas in second. Isabella third. Kosla fourth. And right now Henry Bennett currently sits in the 5th position. And I do not believe that Henry Bennett has withdrawn his time. So I think he, right now, is pretty satisfied with where he's at. Next car that's going to go out is going to be Ben Fuller. There is no number beside his name, but he is in the number 55, and this is going to be his first time out on the track here in this qualifying session. Matthew Rodriguez to show the onboard. And so why not? Let's take the onboard here for the 55 of Ben Fuller. These drivers see the lighted dashboard. I don't know why, but from the cockpit view, it looks like these cars are almost crawling. Maybe it's just me. I mean, 39.671, the first lap laid down by Ben Fuller. Right around the vicinity of Johnny Thomas. 5 1,000ths faster. So we may end up having possibly a challenge here for the 2nd position. It is off of Gomez's lap time, however, by about 4 100ths. Clock in at a 39.640. And that also is faster than Johnny Thomas. So right now, Ben Fuller, first time out on the track, is tracking in the second position as things run right now. So right now, it's looking like that a number of drivers have gone out, laid their lap times down. It looks like they're pretty well set unless they come in later on here this evening. Dan Liesch looks like he's pretty well set. Chris Stouffer, Joe Branch. I don't know about Jared Rexing, Ethan Reasoner. I don't know if they're going to be maybe going out again. Cass Silman, Henry Bent, Gabriel Essick. They have not withdrawn their time. Neither has Joshua Furr. For Ben Fuller is a 39.589. That is a little slower than Johnny Thomas, so it could be close for second place. I think the second lap, though, might clinch it for him if he can at least be within the vicinity on the fourth lap of what Johnny Thomas had. Thomas had a 5.69, and Fuller has a 6.06. Ooh, I don't know if he got him. He might be third. See if Ben Fuller is going to be able to get that second position or not. He has a 39.627 for his average, and that is going to be just a little bit slower than Johnny Thomas. So right now Ben Fuller slots into the third position. Next car that's going to be heading out, the 32 of Dustin Dewar. We saw Rishav Khosla go out for his third time. Well, the same will be said for the 32. Out on his first run, 4 laps. And he had a 4-lap average of a 40.932. Went out the second time, and as we had our interview with Hollabaugh, he ended up having an issue, spun, and waved off his second attempt. Speaking of Hollabaugh, he's going to be up in just a few moments, right behind John Poole III, who's going to be up next. So we saw that it's possible to hit the 39.5s. Pedro Gomez proved that to us. Now, is it possible to hit the mid 39.5s? There and ran a 5.95. Could we see someone hit somewhere down in the 0.55s perhaps? We'll have to wait and see. First lap laid down by Dustin Dewar is a 39.790. In relation to his first official run, that is way faster. That is 0.4 faster. His first lap on his first time out was a 40.173. We're all in the 41-second lap times. So this is going to be a huge improvement over his original run. In at a 39.747. So he's a jet plane. He's a 747. Has withdrawn. And Isabella, I believe, before he withdrew, was in the 4th position. So he has withdrawn his lap time. Very interesting there. A little bit of cat and mouse going on here with all these guys saying, anything you can do, I can do better. Complete his third lap, and I believe Henry Bennett has just now withdrawn his lap time. And Bennett was up, I believe, in the 5th position. Bennett and Vincent Isabella both have withdrawn their lap times. It's a 39.703 for Dustin Dewar. Getting better and better as he goes. 790, a 747, a 703. So if this holds up, he should be able to break into the 39.6s here on this final lap. If he stays consistent, hits the line, and is it in the 39.6s? It is a 39.861. So he must have had a little bit of a bobble there. That was actually a lot slower. That was his slowest lap of the run. It puts him at a 39.775 four-lap average, though, and right now that is going to situate him in 8th position. John Poole III said he could get a little bit more out of it for the 595 laid down by Pedro H. Gomez. And we'll see if he can do it. We haven't really had the opportunity, as we've watched drivers finish their laps, they send out the next driver. So we haven't had much opportunity to be able to see if these guys have taken that little method that Matt Hollabaugh was talking about, where they come off of pit road onto the racetrack and then cut back down onto the access road coming out of turn number 2. Apparently, as long as they do that, that is within the limits, they are allowed to do so, and it gives them a better chance of getting through the gears and up to top speed by the time they get around to start their first lap, which John Poole III is about to do. So John Poole III is trying to best his 4-lap average, which on his first run was a 39.743. And at that point, we were looking at that as, wow, that's probably going to be the pole spot. And since then, we've had drivers hit lower 39.7s. Drivers are in the averages of 39.6s. And right now, our current pole sitter sits there with a 39.5. John Poole III was a 39.645. That is just about 100th slower than Pedro Gomez. So right now, John Poole III would not be on the pole position. I believe, however, this has him tracking second place. Yes, it does. $39.550. Now, that could be interesting. That could maybe have him in the conversation for the pole. Let's see what the difference was of the first and second laps here. It was a difference of a 10th for the first lap, so it put John Poole III 1/10 behind, but he gained 5/100ths on the second lap, so he's now only 5/100ths behind for the pole. If he can gain another 5/100ths here on this third lap, he might be able to take the pole position away in at a 5.76. That is equal with the third lap of Pedro Gomez. So right now, I believe John Poole III, in order to get the pole, would have to run a 39.517, or at least a 5.1 in order to be in the conversation. And it's like he just withdrew off his run. And he did. Not feel he could get those extra 5/100ths. That's going to send the 0-2 of Matt Hollabaugh out there. So John Poole III waves off his run. I'm a little bit surprised that he did that, just based on the fact that whatever he was going to run here on this second run was going to be faster than his first 4-lap average. But it still is quite early on. We still have about an hour and 15 minutes, actually an hour and 10 minutes, before this qualifying session's over. So it's still plenty of time for John Poole III to be able to get back out there. Lap could not pick up that extra 5/100ths. That's all he needed. And he would have topped. Look at the updated times there with the 39.5. Johnny Thomas, Ben Fuller, Rishabh Khosla, Joshua Furr right behind him with 39.6s. Chris Wilhite, Cass Silman, Dustin Doerr, Chris Stouffer, and Jared Rexing right now your top 10. And we have still, again, only 14 drivers that have officially kept their times. And somebody just withdrew, because now we're down to 13. Let me see if I can find out. I think it was the 4. Yeah, Joshua Furr just withdrew his time. So now we've got 13 drivers that are on the grid that have, at least at this point, kept their times. Looking here at of Matt Hollibaugh. And right now, he is tracking for the pole position. First lap, a 6:17. Second lap, a 4:78. Are you kidding? Wow. First driver to hit the 39.4s today. And I think right now, Gomez is watching the pole slip from his fingers. Right there, by the 0-2. See what he gets here. Is he going to run in the 4s again? Can he keep the momentum up? Third lap. A 5:01, so a little bit slower. But right now, he is definitely tracking for the pole. His laps are anywhere from a tenth to 2/10 faster than Pedro H. Gomez's was. John Poole III, he was tracking right around the same area as Gomez, so this is definitely a gauntlet being thrown down by Hollibaugh. Put it down for Frankenfield. And his final lap as he crosses the line is going to clock in at 7:08. Exact same lap time he ran on lap 2. 39.519. If we could hit the 39.6s. Then I wondered if we could hit the 39.5s. Then I wondered if we could hit the mid 39.5s. Well, apparently we can hit the low 39.5s because of 39.519 for Matt Hollibaugh. And did we just see the pole position lap time set? I wouldn't count on it just yet. It's still early. Going to take to the track for the first time here. This is his first attempt at a 4-lap average. And as he does that, take a look at the updated sorted times here. And there you see Matt Hollibaugh at the top by just a little less than 9 100ths. Or I'm sorry, than 8 100ths rather, over Pedro Gomez. Firmly in control of that top spot. But still have Chad Frankenfield down there. Bella, Henry Bennett, John Poole III. A lot of drivers that showed speed as the day went on. Joshua Furr down there as well. Well, Aaron Roots. You can see that this is his first time out there on the track. His first lap, a 40.266. And I think that's more of his limited amount of time on the track rather than, the grip or anything like that. So, at least here, to be able to go back out there a second time, maybe just taking the opportunity here, familiarize himself with how to approach the corners and everything. Maybe not looking for anything too flashy just yet. Maybe not even at 100% in terms of trying here. Just kind of getting his feet wet. Then put himself back in the queue, withdraw his lap time, put himself back in the queue, and then go out there and when he really forces it into the corner. 39.833 for his second lap as Ben Fuller is going to withdraw his lap. And Fuller, if I'm not mistaken, when we just looked at the updated times, I think he was up inside of the top 5. Remember, though, he only has been out there once. So he's going to go out there for a second attempt. Third lap time for Aaron Roofs. As we're waiting for it to come in. Would be tracking down near the bottom of the drivers that have taken time, especially with that 40.2 on his first lap. But again, as I stated, it's his first time out there on the racetrack. .39.611. That's a pretty good lap time there. Looks like his confidence is building as he makes lap times here. 39.629 for his final lap, so a 39.835 for his average. Right now, 10th of 13 drivers that have officially taken and kept their times. But as stated, I mean, still plenty of time to be able to improve, be able to get back out there. And see if he can improve on his lap time. Next driver that's going to go out there, I believe this is the third time that the 77 has gone out on track. Dallas Toledo. Actually, he's next up, but he is still sitting on pit road, so maybe he is not yet ready to go out. Of Chad Frankenfield is actually going out right now. Oh, no, it's not. Who's that car that's going out? Car? No? Not sure who that is, to be honest. 7 is next on the list, and he is not going out there. So I'm not really sure who that is that's going out on track right now. Oh, well, I just got my answer. It was Liam Sheen actually jumped up there, and he was going out, but I guess his waved off. So I guess the 77 would be next in line. And yes, he's going to go out there. All right, so that was Liam Sheen, who has not yet gotten out on track. He's in the 52. His attempt, apparently he leapfrogged the 5 drivers that were ahead of him. Something that they might do as we get later into the session as well. Maybe some guys coming in towards the end that haven't laid down a lap, they may leapfrog the drivers that have already set down times. Not sure what to think about this, but Matt Hollabaugh has just withdrawn his current pole setting lap, 39.519. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to put him down at the bottom of the queue. And as things stand right now, with about an hour remaining in this session, that's going to put him around 15th on the queue behind the car out on track right now. So, is on his third run of this qualifying session. His last run was a 39.781. That, his time before that, 40.339. So his improvement from his first to his second was about 0.6. We'll see how much of an interval it is between his second and third times out. His first lap on his second run was a 39.784. This time, 39.639. So much better. A 6.49 for his second lap. Compare that back to his second lap on his second run to a 7.05. So right now he is just about 5/100ths faster than he was on the first run. Faster on his first lap compared to his first lap in the second run. Lee, I believe, would be tracking close to the pole, which was, at this point, given up by Matt Hollabaugh. Right now, they're all trying to go after Pedro Gomez again. 39.569. Compare that to Gomez. That is actually faster. I think right now, Toledo is tracking for the pole position. If he can at least just be within the vicinity of Gomez's 39.574 here on this last lap, he will be top of the board. Talking about the 77 as he'll bring it down the front straightaway. Crosses it along the yard of bricks. And his fourth and final lap, what is it going to be? Does it put him at the top of the board as the current pole sitter? And the answer to that will have to wait, as I believe the guy that would be letting us know that is actually on track. So Chad Frankenfield to begin his third run. So we will wait to find out. I believe right now that Thalos Toledo would actually be up at the top of the board, at least just based off of his lap times from laps 1 to 3 in comparison to Pedro Gomez. As mentioned, his third time out, his last time out, he withdrew a 39.627. Which right now, if we looked at the current times, that would put him second on the board behind Pedro Gomez and ahead of Rishav Koslov. But he wants to go to the top of the board here. And again, run, we will not see his lap times factor in until after his run is completed, since I would assume it would be very difficult to type in numbers and drive a race car at the same time. I know, I've multitasked with Enter 2003. It's not easy. Behind him, you got Michael Goodman. He's going to go out for another time. Robert F. Kenny waved off his original run, so he's still yet to make a full 4-lap run. Vic Bloom will be next in line. I don't know if Liam Sheen, with where he's listed, he's right now listed behind Vic Bloom. They had him leapfrog drivers that were ahead of him that had already put down times. I don't know if he still holds that spot in the queue or not, or if he would go. My assumption is he would not, because I see him now actually listed down there behind Ben Fuller. So my assumption is that it would go from Vic Bloom then to Carlos E. Aguilar, or Aguilar rather. I don't know why I want to say Aguilar. Too used to the Aguilar that plays for the Milwaukee Brewers, and whenever I see that name, I just instantly put in the L. Maybe kind of like how I put in the N into Hollabaw's name. So, my assumption is, seeing how these drivers have been able to pick up speed, we're going to have a pretty good battle here between Frankenfield and Toledo for the pole position once the scores get put together. But I'm still very curious about the 519 being withdrawn by Matt Hollabaugh. We'll see what Frankenfield puts down here and see if that was a wise choice by the 02. Able to get up there and beat a 519, then yeah, Hollabaugh is going to go out there. But Hollabaugh chose to withdraw his lap time even before Frankenfield got out on the racetrack. So that's what kind of puzzled me. Frankenfield completed it all. So we'll wait for him to score himself, and as he does that, the 73 of Michael Goodman will go out on track. Time coming in for Toledo is going to be a 39.590. That gives him an average of a 39.612 for his 4-lap run. That did not, I believe, beat Pedro Gomez. No, it did not. So his fourth and final lap was actually the one that killed him. Looking at Frankenfield's lap times, 39.573 for his first lap. That is much better than Gomez's. 4.91 for his second lap. 4.75 for his third. Ooh, we might have something close to a 5.19. See what the fourth lap was. Waiting for it to beat a 39.519, then you know it was a good choice for Hollabaugh to withdraw his lap. Holy cow! 39.498 for Frankenfield, and he withdrew it. A 4.98. I didn't even think we could hit the fours, and we just had a 4.98 get withdrawn. Wow. So, Gomez still sits at the top of the board, but we know that his lap time can be beaten now. We've seen it beaten by a 5.19 by Hollabaugh, by a 4.98 by Frankenfield. 9.5 is looking less and less safe. And Pedro Gomez is still in the server, so if necessary, we could see him go out yet another time. Michael Goodman, third time out. He's trying to improve on a 40.168. And Toledo just withdrew his 6.12. Again, look at the comparisons for Michael Goodman from his last run to this run. His first run, he had a 40.160, 40.034. He's down in the 39s now for his first 2 laps here, 39.755 and a 39.814. So right now he is last run, which could pick him up some spots on track. 39.663, nice pickup there on the third lap for the 73. He slots in after the completion of this lap. Momentum up, see if he can keep it down there in 39.6s, if not maybe at least in the vicinity of the low 39.7s. Off turn 4, hits the line. See what he's going to get here. Is going to be a 39.669. 39.725 for his average. Going to slot him third in the running order. Right behind Rishav Kosla. He is the highest of the drivers in the 39.7 second lap times. Going to head out is going to be Robert F. Kenny, who on his first attempt out there ended up on. We saw him almost complete it, but then he got the wall on his final lap, and I don't think he is currently in the server. Yes, he is. Never mind. There he is. Good. On his first 3 laps. His first 3 laps were down there in the 39.7s, 39.6s, which were pretty good for someone that had just gotten on track for the first time. So now we'll see if he can get down the low 39.6s, maybe down to 39.5s here. Carry too much speed off the corner and get the wall again. We'll give you a look at the sorted times yet again. And still at the top of the board there is Gomez. You see Michael Goodman slotted up there to third after the run we just saw him put together. But again, like I said, that 39.595 does not look safe due to the fact that we saw a low 5 run by Hollabaugh and we saw a barely 39.4 run by Chad Frankenfield. Starting to get into crunch time as well. Let's not forget that this thing wraps up at 10 o'clock. So the clock is ticking. There's 50 minutes actually now left in the session. And drivers have to start making decisions. Do I stick with the lap time I've got? Do I go out there and try to improve? Well, right now, how about Robert F. Kenny? First lap, 39.649. Second lap, 39.573. I think we just had an edit that both Toledo and Frankenfield and Hollabaugh have withdrawn their withdrawns. So they're sticking with what they've got. And that's going to change the grid. So that put Frankenfield top of the board with his 39.498. Matt Hollabaugh second with the 39.519, and that moves Pedro Gomez from the pole down to third. That was Toledo with his withdrawn. He is now in fourth, with Rishav Kosla in fifth, and right now Michael Goodman, Cass Silman, Dustin Dewar, Chris Stouffer, and Jared Rexing would be your top 10. We've now got 15 drivers that have their times locked in, at least for right now, that have not been withdrawn. And the 16th would be Robert F. Kenny when he finishes this run. His third lap, a 39.542. Fourth lap, 39.529. That's going to slot him with a 39.573, which I do believe is going to put him grid. That's going to pass him by Gomez, put him third behind Frankenfield and Hollabaugh. And that's Vic Bloom in the 99. Liam Sheen, who is next after him, already went out. He leapfrogged drivers that had already put down lap time, so I believe it will go from Vic Bloom to Carlos Aguiar. And the withdrawals are gone for Frankenfield, Toledo, and Hollabaugh. However, I still see them there on the queue, so I'm not certain if they are withdrawing or not. They might actually be withdrawing their, or they might be revoking their withdrawals just in the case they may not be able to get back out there. They are still on the queue, though. Oh, we had another couple drivers that have withdrawn their lap times. Chris Stouffer and Dan Lee Esch. Those are a couple of guys that put down their lap times very early on, it looks like. To the end of the queue. Don't know if they necessarily are going to be going out there and running another lap time or not. We heard from Dan Lee Esch that he thought he was going to be done with what lap time he had set down. He's currently not in the server either. And I believe that Chris Stouffer is also not in the server. So I guess they're added there in case they come back. Vic Bloom, first lap laid down for him, 39.654. Follows that up with a 39.625. Right now, he is trying to best his first run, which clocked in at 8:30. And right now, his last two lap times have been about 0.2 faster than his last run. Third lap, his first run, which it was 39.856. This time on his third lap, he's going to hit a 39. Oh yeah, I think that's a lot better. That's a 0.4 of a second difference. Not be tracking for the pole, but this could mean for, if not second, third place. Line. His final lap score is going to be a 39.526. That is a 39.575. That's just behind Robert Kenny by 2 1/1000ths. So that will slot Vic Bloom currently into the 4th position. With the Liam Sheen machine. Wow, that's interesting coming off the tongue. The Liam Sheen machine going out earlier and waving off his run. It will be the 5 of Carlos Aguiar that will go out next. Aguiar's last run was a 39.718 for his 4-lap average. And he ran all of his lap times in the 39.7s with the exception of his last lap, which was in the 39.6s. So if he can improve by even 1/10.5, we could have him up inside of the top 5 here. And I'm noticing now, as the run goes on, drivers are more and more braver, having more courage to go down and put those left side tires down either on or even below the white line in the corner. You saw it right there with Aguiar. Let's see if he does it here in 3 and 4. Yeah, you can see right there. Lefts were down below the white line. And again, just right on the white line there in turn 4. Cover and more grip there. More trusting of that lower area. Let's see what Aguiar has here. That looked like a pretty smooth lap. Let's see what he clocks in at for his first lap here. 39.708 is faster than his first lap on his last run, but it is nowhere, at least now, right at the moment, in the conversation of the pole. Right now, at least in the conversation for somewhere around 7th, 8th position, I would say. Is tracking better than Michael Goodman, and Goodman currently sits in the 8th position. At least, unless he has like a drastic pickup on his last 3 laps, this isn't right now even in the conversation for a top 5. Down there that I think could shake up the top 5. Vincent Isabella, Henry Bennett, John Poole III, Joshua Furt, even Johnny Thomas. They were all really fast on their last runs. And that was what fast was back then. It's increased even now. Aguiar is going to be a 39.918. Is going to be slower than his last run's second lap. He did manage to run a 39.585 on the third lap, but that second lap's going to hurt him. I'm not even certain that this run is going to be faster than this last one. This may be slower. And remember, with going out there, he would have to adhere to his slower 4-lap average here. Some spots in the grid. Let's see what his final lap came in as, and it was a 39.616, so he's going to have a 39.707. That does improve from a 39.718. Not by much, but it does improve. I was kind of worried that his lap time might actually, his average lap might be slower than the last time out, but no, he did improve it by 11/1000ths of a second. And that is going to send out the 13 of Vincent Isabella. Improve on a 39.634. Now, right now, the 39.634 would have him in 7th place. So he wants to improve on that and make his way into the top 5. First lap on his last run was a 39.688. We just had, I believe, a withdrawal, and it just got taken away. Looked like Pedro Gomez was going to withdraw his lap time and go out again, but drawn it. He's been added to the queue. Going on there as far as drivers being added to the queue, but they don't have a withdraw banner. Doesn't have one. Neither does Frankenfield, neither does Hollenbaugh. I'm a little confused by that. Rishav Khosla is down there as well. And he doesn't have a withdraw banner. So I'm a little confused about that. It might be the fact that as we're nearing towards the end of this qualifying session, these guys might be putting themselves in the queue. But if they can't get out there on track, then they're still having their last run to be able to fall back on. Bella, his first lap on this run, 39.606. It's faster than his last time around, so right now he would be tracking to maybe get into the top 5. would, I think, be tracking around the 6th position, just outside the top 5, unless his lap times really improve. And that is a lap that could do it. 39.497 for his second lap. We're around 4th position right now. It was a 5.25. 39.525. 4.97 was his third lap. So this is tracking good for him to make it into the top 5, at least right now. 39.499. That's a 39.532. His average. Real quickly, I'm pretty certain we're going to look here at the 12 of Henry Bennett. I think that puts him up into the 3rd position. It does. Puts him up past Robert F. Kenny by about 4 100ths. And behind Matt Hollabaugh by only 2 100ths. Closer and closer. I mean, we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, the lap times were going to be close. Well, just how close? You take a look at 2nd down through 17th. They are separated by only 3/10. And at a super speedway, you know what 3/10 looks like. That's basically 2 cars crossing the start-finish line with one's front bumper right next to the rear bumper of the car that they're battling. That's how close they are in terms of time here. And I think as we get further and further here towards the end, I think it's going to continue to get even closer. So we're going to see more names, I think, popping up here into the top 10, up even into the top 5. Bennett. And the 12 car we saw lay down a really, really good 4-lap average on his first run. 39.661 was his first attempt out there. Right now, in terms of where the lap times are, that would have slotted him in the 9th position, trying to improve on that. Times to start with, 39.561 for his first lap, a 4.64 for his second lap. Compare that to his first run when he had his first 2 lap times at a 6.87 and a 6.76. I think at this point in time, he would be tracking at least in 3rd, 2nd. Yeah, he's tracking 2nd place right now. He's not quite there with Frankenfield. Actually, no, hold on. He is with Frankenfield. Last 3 laps, he's been better than the 15. 39.429. Right now, he's got, if my calculations are correct, he's got about 9 100ths in the bank on this final lap. We're looking at another driver that's going to jump to the top of the leaderboard, and this is going to be another 39.4 lap average if he can complete this 4th lap. Got to beat a 4.52, crosses the line, 39 what? Waiting for the official scoring to come in on the final lap. It's a 39.445. That's a 39.475 average. He's going to jump to the top of the board. Henry Bennett. Top Chad Frankenfield by 23 1,000ths of a second. And time out there as well. The third will head out on track for what will be his 3rd attempt of the day. We mentioned back on his first run how snafu at the very beginning of the broadcast. He was over in the other server. And it looked like he was continuing to practice. Looks like practice made perfect. He's up in the lead as far as the fast lap times. Take a look here at the sorted times. And there you see it. Bennett, top of the board. Frankenfield right behind him. The only 2 drivers that have hit the 39.4s. Hollabaugh, Isabella, Kenny the top 5. Then Vic Bloom, Gomez, Toledo, Kosla, and Aguiar. And bear in mind that Frankenfield, Hollabaugh, as well as, I believe, Gomez, Toledo, and Kosla are all down in the queue. It's out as well. That when we started, I said that there were 29 cars on the list, and the top 33 were going to make it in. Well, take a look down here now. You can see that red line. That's the cutoff line. And at this current point in time... oh no, they've got the other drivers added on. So I think at this point in time, I don't think anybody's eliminated out yet, because you got 2 Frankenfields, you got 2 Hollabaughs, so it's counting the drivers that were in the queue as well. So yeah, I think they still have everybody that has put down a lap time, I think, are currently locked into the field. John Poole the third. How about that for a first lap? 39.484. Drivers hit a 4 on the first lap. I think it is. 4s. This is another driver that will jump up to the top of the board for the pole. Second lap going to clock in. A 39.474. 1/100th faster than his first lap. Is right now tracking about 7/100ths faster than what Henry Bennett just put down. Right now, he would be on the pole position with John Poole III. This is why we see guys down there at the bottom of the queue like Frankenfield, like Hollabaugh. They're realizing, you know, we still have a chance to go out there and run even faster. Third lap going to come in, and did he just withdraw it? Oh, he did. He withdrew it. No, he didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. The lap times didn't come in. I thought he withdrew it, and I was thinking, why would you withdraw? He did not. It's going to be a 4.74 and a 4.83. That is a 54. I think there's a little bit of a problem with the scoring. I think it should be a 39. Or at least. And now it looks like there's... Oh, I'm a little confused. I think the scoring's wrong. On John Poole the third's lap. There we go. Now it fixed itself. It didn't fix itself on the stream, though. It's fixed itself on my end, on my other monitor, but it hasn't here. Let me actually refresh it. Just maybe it might have frozen. So we'll refresh it here so you guys can see the updated. But John Poole III is top of the board now with a... How was it not top of the board? Apparently it was a 5.97. Okay, so there was a scoring snafu there. The 4.84 was the second lap. All right, so his official time, according to this, was a 39.510. Okay. Now it's clear. Into the third position behind Henry Bennett and Chad Frankenfield. We're currently looking here at the 4 of Joshua Furr. Was up there inside of the top 5 before he withdrew his time, so we'll see how he's able to improve. His last time out, he was a 39.665. That would have slotted him in the 11th position right now. He will that. 39.565 his first lap. 39.457 his second lap. Complete his third lap, which is going to be here. Right now, he's tracking pretty good. and John Poole the third was, so this could be maybe a challenge for second. 4:38 was his third lap. And this is tracking better than Frankenfield. I gotta look and see if this is tracking better than Henry Bennett, though, and it is in the same area. I think he's just a little off. I think he might be off by maybe 3/1000ths. Depends on this last lap. Can he get it faster than a 4:45 on his last lap? Waiting for them to update it. Needs to be better than a 4:45. If you get down the 4.3s, oh, it's a 4.88. So he's just barely gonna not get the pole position. He will move into second place, however. He will bypass Chad Frankenfield. It's 4.98 with a 4.87. And that will send out the 21 of Johnny Thomas. So Joshua Furr finds a little bit of extra speed. And right now, he would be on the outside of the front row with Henry Bennett. So now we have had 3 drivers have their 4-lap average in the 39.4s. Thomas was actually another driver that was up inside the top 5 before he decided to withdraw his time. 9.616 on his last attempt. And we saw Joshua Furr jump up to second with his 6.65 the previous time. So Johnny Thomas was faster than Joshua Furr on the last run. Seeing somebody maybe challenging for the pole, potentially. At least maybe challenging for second place if he doesn't have any issues here. I mean, Joshua Furr's lap time was only 8/1000ths slower as far as his 4-lap average. 8/1000ths slower than Henry Bennett. So he was right there in the vicinity. And as we're looking here at Johnny Thomas, his 4-lap average was 6/100ths faster than Joshua Furr's. So if we do the calculations there and say he picks up another 6/100ths over what Joshua Furr laid down this time, Henry Bennett could be looking at a 39.42. Lap is a 39.574, however. That is slower than Joshua Furr. His second lap is also slower at a 39.470. So this will not put him even in a second place. We'll see if this puts him in the conversation, at least for third. He was 1,000th slower on the first lap to Frankenfield, 2/100ths faster on the second lap. So right now he would be tracking for the third position. This would drop Frankenfield down to 4th. Frankenfield will hold on to the third position. Going to be waving off his run will be Johnny Thomas. In the third position, going to wave it off, and that will bring Ben Fuller out onto the track. Ben Fuller, on the first run, ran a 39.627. His only time out on track, so this is his second time out on the racetrack. And if we do some comparison of lap times, if he picks up, like just about everybody else has been able to do, so right within the same vicinity as Chad Frankenfield, because Frankenfield, on I think it was his second attempt, ran a 39.627. And obviously we know right now he is up there in the third position as far as the starting grid goes. So Ben Fuller could find himself up in the top 3, maybe challenge Joshua Furr. But right now, you know, if he's able to pick up like others before him have been able to, he could find himself also up there in the 39.4s as far as average lap time. why drivers like Matt Hollabaugh, Chad Frankenfield, they didn't officially withdraw their lap times, but if it got to them and they wanted to, then they could. Because right now, Frankenfield and Hollabaugh, who were 1 and 2 not too long ago, now find themselves 3rd and 5th on the running order. First lap in for Ben Fuller, 39.532. That, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is actually faster than Henry Bennett's first lap. Yes, it is, by 3/100ths. So yeah, Ben Fuller is currently looking like he could put himself at the top of the speed charts if he keeps up this run. Have 3/100ths over Henry Bennett. Let's see if he increases that here on his second lap. Second lap for Henry Bennett was a 4.64. Fuller with a 5.16. So right there, he just lost 5/100ths. So he is now 2/100ths behind Henry Bennett. Right now, he would be tracking for the second position, however, as he is just a little bit faster, I think, than Joshua Furr. Actually, no. He's actually a little bit slower than Joshua Furr as well. That second lap hurt him. First lap, but on the second lap, both Joshua Furr and Henry Bennett ran in the 39.4s, and he ran a 39.5, talking about Ben Fuller. So it could maybe put him in the average of 39.4s. He just ran a 39.4 flat, and I think he just... think he did. We just haven't had the scoring updated. No, looks like he did complete his run. Interesting time. What is a 39,495.000 lap time? That is either a lightning fast lap time, or no, that's a really slow lap time. That's got to be fixed. He's got an average 4-lap average of 9,903.426. Fixed now. Well, anyway. Technology, have little snafus. We'll see where this puts him, though, because that would be a 39.495. It's going to put him at a 39.549. And right now, that would situate him in the 5th position. Liam Sheen, who I believe has yet to put down a lap, at least a 4-lap average. Earlier, waved off his time before he even got around to complete his first lap. Of connection issues here as well. So we don't have anything to compare of his. We are officially starting to see the withdrawals coming in. Rishav Khosla has officially withdrawn his lap time. So I believe he was in 12th at the time that he withdrew. So he will look to improve on that. He is 3rd in line on the queue behind Hollabaugh and Frankenfield, who will both go out next after Liam Sheen has completed his run. 39.745 for his first official lap of this session. 39.578 for his second. Right now, he just wants to complete the 4 laps. And as he does that, we'll give you the updated look here at what the starting lineup would look like. Bennett at the top, Furr in second, Poole currently 3rd. And it looks like right there you can see now that it is official as well. The withdrawals for Frankenfield, Khosla, Hollabaugh are now official. So that moves Isabella into 4th, Fuller currently in 5th. Kenny is 6th, Vic Bloom 7th, Gomez in 8th, Toledo 9th. And right now, Wilhite is in 10th, but we've still got a number of guys down there that still are going to try and put down some lap times. I think Gomez, he's down there in the list. I don't know if he's going to take the opportunity or not. Yet another lap time, or if he's going to be satisfied with where he's at. Lap times are completed for Liam Sheen. No, actually, he just waived it. He completed his 3rd lap, did not complete the 4th lap. He is yet to complete an entire 4 laps. In session as now Matt Hollabaugh will head back out. His last run, Matt Hollabaugh clocked in at a 39.519, which right now, with the way everything is running, would have him slotted in 4th, but he wants to join the club of the drivers that hit the 39.4s. We'll see what his lap times are in comparison to Henry Bennett, who right now is at the top of the board. Bennett's first lap was a 5.61. If Hollabaugh can put his first lap in the 5s, as he will hit the line, his first lap is going to be a 5.73. That is slower than Henry Bennett's first lap by a little more than a hundredth, about 12 1,000ths to be exact. Just to pick it up here on this second lap. Second lap, Bennett ran a 4.64. Right now, this would not even be faster than Joshua Furr. So right now, Matt Hollabaugh is not even in the conversation for a front row spot, unless he really picks it up here on these next 3 laps. We could put him back in the conversation. 39.3 or 431 rather. That is 3 100ths faster than Henry Bennett's second lap. Think just put the ball in the court of Matt Hollabaugh. He lost 100th on the first lap, gained 3 on the second lap. So right now he has 200ths in the bank. Now he just needs to match or better Bennett's 3rd and 4th lap. 3rd lap for Bennett was a 4.29. Hollabaugh is going to hit a 39 point. Waiting for it to come in here. The vicinity of a 4.29, then he could very well be up there at the pole. Looks like maybe they're waiting for him to come around and complete his 4th lap before they put in the 3rd and final lap times. Let's see what he gets. Let's see what the comparison is. Mistaken, I believe Frankenfield's going out, so we're actually not going to find out. Frankenfield here. But I think that based on what his 3rd and 4th laps were, if they were at least within the vicinity of the 3rd and 4th laps of Henry Bennett, I think that Matt Hollabaugh just jumped to the top of the leaderboard. Well, as it currently stands, Vincent Isabella is 4th on the running order. Why don't we get a chat with him as we're watching Chad Frankenfield out on the track? Vincent, Seth Cole up here in the Flat Out Racing Network booth. You got a moment?
Yes, I do. How's it going, boys?
Now it's got you slotted in the 4th position as far as the speeds go. You pretty happy with where you're situated, or you think you're going to try and go back out there and try to improve?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get back out there. It doesn't look like it, but hey, I'm happy. I've never run these things at Indy before, so I'll take it.
I mean, it's just been amazing to watch how the speeds continue to get faster and faster. I mean, and someone told me there was cloud cover that was coming. And, I mean, it was getting to the point where, okay, can they hit the 39.7s? Okay, can they hit the 39.6s? Now we got drivers hitting the 39.4s. You're sitting there with a 39.5. Is it any different to drive as it gets faster and faster and the grip seems to be there more?
Well, yeah, as the track gets colder, it gets more grippier, if that's a word. But, I mean, the colder the track, the better it is. The hotter, you just want to slide through the corner. Just push us through the wall.
The little bit of added grip, like drivers were a little more trusting to go down there to that line. Saw a number of drivers kind of keep away from it early on.
Yeah, I mean, I was keeping away from it for sure because you got down there too low and you would just back it into the wall. But, yeah, no, the car's more planted, more downforce, and you're able to just hold it wide open around the track now. So, a lot more comfortable.
Have a pretty good starting spot based on the amount of time left, drivers in the queue and everything. Looks like you're going to at least stay inside of the top 10. So, good luck to you in the main event, and we'll see where you finally end up gridding when the session comes to a close. Thanks for talking to us, too.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, so we were actually able to talk with Vincent. We tried earlier, and apparently he was AFK or something, which is perfectly fine. Frankenfield's about to come around, and I believe this is the completion of his final lap, so we will then get the updated scoring for the completion of the third and fourth lap for Hollabaugh, as well as the 4 laps for Frankenfield, and see how that's going to shake up the leaderboard. And that's going to put Rishav Khosla back out on the track in the 54. Khosla got knocked out of the top 10 with a number of drivers improving their lap times. Laps come in for Hollabaugh's third and fourth lap, a 4.26 and a 3.84, 39.454 for Matt Hollabaugh. That is going to put him to the top of the board by about 2.1 over Henry Bennett. And let's see how Frankenfield stacks up. 5.25 for his first lap. Second lap's going to be a 4.32. Boy, this is looking like it might be a pole-setting lap. Right now, he's ahead of Hollabaugh. 4.15. That bests the third lap of Hollabaugh as well. And final lap's going to come in at a 39.408. He's going to go to the top of the board. Will Chad Frankenfield, as he jumps up there with a 39.445. So with only about 12 minutes remaining in the session, how about that? Hollabaugh jumps up to the top and then immediately gets knocked down by Chad Frankenfield. And I believe, Rishav Khosla actually waved off his run. So that brings out the 77 of Tawas Toledo again. I believe this is the 77th. I want to say it is his 4th time out now. It might only be his 3rd. Nope, it is his 4th. It is his 4th time out. So with Rishav Khosla waving off his run, it does not, I don't think, take away where he was at. Let me just double check on that. So he waved off his run. I don't know if this is necessarily going to be where it would then adhere him back to the lap time he had before or not. I think it will. So right now it would adhere Khosla, I believe, back to a 39.66, which currently would have him sitting in the 12th position. Unless he's able to get back out there. But I don't see his name added to the end of the list. I don't think we're going to have enough time. We got 10 minutes left to go here in the qualifying session. Some of these guys that are even down here, I mean, we heard Vincent Isabella say he wasn't going to be going back out. He's down there at the bottom of the list here. I mean, we may have an opportunity for maybe 2, 3, 4 drivers, including the car out on track right now, the 77, to complete their runs. Chris Wilhite, he's there listed. I guess he's going to have an opportunity to go out there. I don't think that either Chris Stover or Dan Liesch are in this server, so I don't think they would go out. So it might be an opportunity for Pedro Gomez to maybe go out there at the last minute, but we heard Vincent Isabella, who would be then next in line, said he's not going to be going back out. Give you the updated look at the sorted times. There it is, Frankenfield top of the board by 9 1/1000ths. Henry Bennett, who was up at the top for a little while, now dropped to third. Joshua Furr in fourth. What was looking like the front row is now going to be the second row currently. John Poole the third and fifth. Vincent Isabella up there to sixth. Ben Fuller, Robert Kennedy, Vic Bloom, and right now Pedro Gomez there in the 10th spot. You wonder if Gomez, if he's got the opportunity to go out there and run another lap time, would he? Would he be content with a top 10 run, or would he risk not starting inside the top 10 and maybe having a slower lap time? I think maybe this 77 could decide it for him. If he gets knocked outside of the top 10 by the 77 of Tejalis Toledo, then maybe he might go out there and run another lap. Toledo putting down some good lap times. In relation to his last run, they are faster. He's bested his lap by about a 10th and a half, at least his average right now. Maybe even 2/10. For the pole, however. But this would be good enough, I think, right now to put him into the top 10. So this could force the hand of Gomez. Down here by Toledo. 39.504 comes in as a 39.520, and that is going to put him up into the top 10 in the 6th position. That drops Gomez down to 11th. Now he's got to wait for the 7 of Chris Wilhite to go out there, who right now is in the 13th position, and we'll see if Wilhite is going to go out on track, and the answer to that is yes. So Wilhite will still get out there. Gomez, I think, will have an opportunity to get out there as there's still a little time in the session. He might be the last one, talking about Gomez, to go out there, depending on how quick Wilhite completes his 4-lap run. So Wilhite's trying to get into the top 10. Since these are the last couple, we will actually, I'll let you know what the lap times are, but we will show you here now the grid as it stands, and we'll see if they jump up, talking about both and the if the 09 gets to get on track. So at the line, Chris Wilhite, his first lap is going to be a 39.673. Then Toledo. Let's take a look and see who's in the 10th position. Right now, that would be Vic Bloom. So let's compare the lap times to him. He would be slower than Vic Bloom. Vic Bloom's first lap was a 6.54, and Wilhite's was a 6.73. So right now, he would not be cracking into the top 10 currently. See if he can beat a 6.5 that Bloom set on his second lap. The car is going to clock in at a 39.550, so he did improve on that one. Lost 2 100ths on the first lap. He gained back 7 on the second lap. So right now he is 5 100ths to the good of getting into the top 10 at least. 9.5 was the third lap laid down by Vic Bloom, so we'll see if he's at least within the vicinity of that. The line with a 8.1, which just gained him another 100th, so he's now got 6 hundredths in the bank. He's just got to be within a close proximity of a 5.26, and he's going to crack the top 10. And this would knock Vic Bloom out of the top 10. going to be about maybe 4 minutes left. I think there's going to only be an opportunity for one more driver to get out on track before the session comes to a close, and that might very well be Pedro Gomez. We'll see if he takes the opportunity. Crossing the line is Chris Wilhite. We're going to jump to Gomez. Gomez is sitting on pit road, so I think that is the last car. I think Wilhite is the last car that is going to get to turn a lap time. 39.560. That's going to move him up. That drops Vic Bloom out of the top 10. I think that's it. I don't know if anybody else is getting out there on track or not. Actually, hold on. Chris Stouffer might be back in the server. He might be making one more attempt. He is. Okay, so he will probably be the last car. So Gomez decided not to go out. Either in 11th if his lap time is not beaten by Stouffer, or he will be 12th if Stouffer does best his lap time. Right now, Stouffer, his last time out, which, if I recall correctly, was all the way back near the very beginning. I think this is only the second time he's been out there. I don't see his name anymore on the list. Back when he went out there for the first run, it was a 39.783. He was the, I believe, 8th driver to go out in this session. That lap time that he's all the way back at the very beginning, that would have only put him... the 18th position in the grid. So I can definitely see why he would want to go back out there. Into the top 10 here. Going to be Chad Frankenfield and Matt Hollabaugh, the front row. I don't know. I doubt that Stouffer is going to have anything for the top two. Are not near close enough to be able to compete with Frankenfield right now. It doesn't look like. Third lap, maybe. He was a little faster on the first lap. He was slower on the second lap, so he's just about even. Let's see what this third lap is. Maybe, just maybe. I think. It's got to be near a 4:15. If he's not near, he's in the 5s. This is close. This is really close. Hold on. Let me see if I can calculate this. He was 7 1,000ths faster the first lap. He lost 15 1,000th the second lap, so he's 8 1,000ths behind. Now he is 15 1,000ths behind right now. He needs to gain it back. In order to best Frankenfield, he needs to have a 39.397. Can he hit it on this final lap? Anything higher, and he's going to probably be second place. Is it a 397? 39.401. Is that 4 1,000ths he missed out on? I think it was. Thousandths. 39.447. 2 1,000ths of a second. Stouffer misses out on the pole. He'll start on the outside of the front row, and Chad Frankenfield's going to be the pole sitter for the Elite Racing League Indianapolis 500 next Friday. Boy, came down right to the last minute, and somehow, someway, it came down to 2 1,000ths. Wow, best for last. That was exciting. At first, I didn't think that Stouffer was going to be in the conversation, but then I started seeing lap times were pretty similar between himself and Frankenfield, and boy, if he had just gotten those last 2 1,000ths there, it would have been a tie, and I don't know what you would do in the case of a tie. But Frankenfield's going to start on the pole. Your grid is set. It's going to be Frankenfield and Stouffer, the front row, Hollabaugh and Bennett, row 2, Furr and Poole, row 3, Toledo and Isabella in row 4, and Ben Fuller, Chris Wilhite will be the completion of the top 10. And you can see the rest of the running order. Looks like it's going to be 24 cars that took time in this race here, but maybe not. And so the rest of at least the grid that we know of are going to be Robert Kenny 11th, Vic Bloom 12th, Pedro Gomez 13th. Believe Aguiar is going to be 14th, as I believe Toledo is starting 7th. So Aguiar would be 14th, Goodman in 15th, Silman 16th, Dewar in 17th, Rexing 18th, Essick in 19th. Roofs would be 20th, Branch 21st, Reasoner in 22nd, and Liesch would be in 23rd. Obviously, I think Branch and Reasoner and Liesch, they laid down their laps. That was it. And if they had been here later on, probably would have had the benefit of the cloud cover, the cooler conditions to be able to improve their lap times. But nonetheless, they're in the field, and they'll have to work their way from the back next Friday. But that is going to do it here for our broadcast of the qualifying session, pole day qualifying for the Indianapolis 500. Going to be a wild race with some of the insights the drivers gave us here during the interviews. Next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, November 15th, we will be bringing it to you here on the Flat Out Racing Network. You're not going to want to miss it. Sure to be a wild one, and we got some pretty good contenders all the way through the field, it looks like, and be interesting to see what this package is going to be like as well. But again, once more, congrats to Chad Frankenfield on the victory of getting the pole position here today. He will lead the field to green next Friday. We will see you guys on Monday. The Elite Racing League is going to be here for their next to last regular season race as the playoffs draw near. We're going to be at Michigan for that race. And then also on Thursday, we will be having the Race of Champions. They'll be having their second race of the season next Friday. We will be bringing you the Indianapolis 500 here for the Elite Racing League. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. I'm going to go and rest my throat now, but until then, you've been watching another production of Flat Out Racing Network, and we will see you guys next week.